I'm sorry we're late. This motherfucker can't shut up.
Well, here a question for you. What happened to the trailer? Because it started off with the 5, 4, 3, and then it began the new.
Well, it was working fine for me.
Up to the aliens. It's your fault, kid. Stop taking me.
They don't want you.
In fact, I know.
It's like seriously, I don't. They don't take you. My wife doesn't like you, man.
I know.
She finds you quite annoying.
Good.
Both the one up there and down here.
There you go. See?
That's not exactly something to be constantly proud of, man.
As it's be proud of, they'll not take me again, you know. Who is the one down here out of curiosity? Come on, everybody's been waiting in anticipation, man. That's what the Rocky Horror Show. But everybody's been waiting in anticipation. Who is she? Who is this older woman from the stars? That isn't Danny, is it?
Oh God, no! And that is our business.
Well, okay.
You want to speak up there, motherfucker?
Oh God!
Put the shiznit at you.
Have we here? Well, it says that there'll be a beam of light, the new will be gone. You would die laughing if that happened. I'd be like,
oh, that would be fucking hilarious.
Oh,
and
God.
You know, they'll stick you somewhere where you can get into NASA's Wi-Fi, and you can be able to broadcast from the moon as you're taking your last breath of death. This is a breath of life, freezing over in the void of space.
I don't know. I think space would be all right. I mean, I could go on a one-way trip to Mars. See if everything was there for me, if all the food was there for me, and there was an Xbox with unlimited games and stuff like that, I'd be happy.
You would not make the trip.
I would be, but it's not as if you're going to be. What do you mean make the trip? It's not as if I'm walking there. Okay, I mean you're in a spaceship.
You would not make the trip.
Eating like
first off, your ass is too fat.
Fine. You look at fucking tongue. How do you get into space? Of course, that's right. I'm forgetting. The extraterrestrials beam me up. Beam me up.
It's like first off, close. Maggie, that's what I haven't seen her in here around in the show a long time.
That's a long time. That's what, months ago since the last time Maggie came in. Oh, is that just Scottish shit?
No, just spending time with someone. So.
Oh my God, Lawrence.
What did Lawrence do?
Look what he put. Yes, that's right, Lawrence. That's what Dakota's into. If you would believe it.
What did he put? I'm not seeing it. Where is it?
I put it up. It's there. It's there. Can you see it?
Where? Where the fuck is it?
Lawrence is right into that kind of stuff, man. Honestly, the things he tells me about what he gets up to in the space is horrendous. Star Mills.
You wish I would. You wish I would tell you. You fucking perv.
He put Star Mills.
Well, yeah. I mean, she just.
Well, can I get a question for you? That's something I was thinking about the night. Right, doing an Earth. What age are you? What's your exact age? 28, right? Which you look far older, but we'll never mind that now.
You're one
Space
to talk.
women. Well, I know I'm nearly 43. I'm thinking me is closer to God than you. But here's a question for you, right? What age is your woman in space?
Earth years, she's a little over 200, if I remember correctly.
200? Wait. I mean, oh, wow. She
just popped out baby number 4.
What do you think of that, Lawrence? Dots, 200-year-old girlfriend. Well, I mean, wife. Could I ask a question? When did she get married, by the way?
There's actually a spot within the Federation motherships that are commonly used for like gardening and weddings and stuff like that.
That's right, Lawrence.
Olivia's married now.
Because time's different in space, isn't it? Time doesn't really.
Yeah, my oldest daughter's married now, and we just had our 4th kid.
You're a great grandfather then. You
Not
know.
yet. She's already talking about making me a grandfather. It's like, I'm not even 30, damn it.
It'll be really awkward when you get back there, isn't it? It's going to be a little awkward. Well, no, you'll be the same age then, won't you? Because you're in a cocoon, aren't you? In a pod.
I don't know. It's
You'll pop out
some of
like
the stuff I've found out recently. It's a little bit more complex than we originally thought. That's what the Francis Files is for, so I can
Look,
actually have a chance to talk and
ladies and
explain
gentlemen,
all the details.
look, ladies and gentlemen, you need to watch this Francis Files thing, but also know this: that Dakota likes his women older.
It's not my fault.
Well, you've got that kind of yeah, about you. You know, if that's what you're into. Congrats on your granddad. Just think, by the time you're 50, you'll be a great, 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 great granddad.
So there's talk of my oldest being getting ready to have a kid of her own, but yeah. And technically, I already am a granddad because of my fucking sister. God. I was a surrogate father figure for her, and I'm having to do the same for her kid. Nothing like
What's
Sweet Home
happened?
Alabama,
Like,
you sick fucks.
no, but here's an interesting thing. Right? Here's a question,
Oh,
right? Like, say
God.
hypothetically, say this happened, right? What would happen here, right?
Why are you so obsessed
You're
with my
great.
love life?
No, I just find this interesting.
Why are you
right?
so obsessed with my love life?
But do you not think it's? I mean, do you have to pay any back time when like the kids were born and stuff like that? Because you weren't there.
No.
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 Nah. But you'll be all right. Thank God I'm a human soul.
No. Hey, I was actually there for the birth, so.
What is that? Was it kind of like Alien? Again, how the
No.
alien, the guy's sitting down to his dinner, and he thinks he's all right after he said that thing stuck to his face, and he's sitting there like stuffing his face with like
God.
food and all that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden he's like, I don't know, like popped out, and it ran across the flare and into the ducting or something like that.
And
What?
you wonder why I've stopped working UFOs with you.
What do you mean? It's Alien. I was a young child when that was released. I'll have you know that is one of the iconic games. You ever played it? It's good. Millions.
Suddenly that explains a lot about your penal and fascination.
Well, it's an interesting. I didn't like what they did with Prometheus and all that kind of stuff. See what they did with Prometheus and all that kind of. And if we're to go into the genre of that, I didn't like what they did with that because there's a lot of Star Wars folk out there that don't like what they did with Star Wars. Remember how they brought the old ones out and then they brought the new ones out, but they're really the old ones. But the new Star Wars that came out is absolutely.
Well, Prometheus, they were kind of basing it loosely on some of the lore involving the Anunnaki.
That's right, because they thought that the giants were the Anunnaki, but they weren't really. There was two different races of them. There was the builders and there was the scientists.
There's more than that, but the simplified for movie terms, yes. Did you see Spielberg's actually getting ready to make a new UFO movie?
I heard that.
Speaking, to try to shift the conversation into something modern.
What do you mean modern? I'll have you know, I was around when Blade Runner came out. That's one of my favorite movies, Blade Runner. Do you know? Right, I'm going to blow you away here. Do you know Blade Runner has a connection with Alien?
Yes.
You know that some people don't get it. Some people, because the same corporation that makes the humanoid robot things, it's the same corporation that sends the, what do you call it, for the, what do you call it? Is it Wayne Industries? And it also is the same corporation as the one that go and try and get the aliens. They're actually working on a new one.
Wayne Industries, huh?
So
you're talking Batman was involved in the
no Wayne Industries. No, what was the guy? Right? See, what was his name? What was his name? See the guy that was on Mars and before they froze him in Prometheus. What was his name? Right, he was the original founder. He was the original founder of the corporation that made the synthetics. Because when he died, it all transformed over to a different corporation, but it was the same name, and it was something Wayne, something Industries or something like that. I'm just getting mixed up. But anyway,
I was about to
what's
say, yeah, that Wayne Industries, that's Batman.
I just get mixed up, ladies and gentlemen. It's all right. I'm getting old and decrepit. He's got to be looking for somebody soon. I'll be getting into my home. I'll bump into his uncle. I'll bump into his great granddaughter. She's only 5,000 years old. Whaling. Thank you. Whaling. There you go. Whaling Industries. I was close. Whaling Industries. Well, he's actually right. See in Blade Runner. You're too young to remember this, but in Blade Runner, they had the synthetics, right? Well, it was his company originally, like 200 years before then, or whatever it was. It's mad if you follow the what make me fall asleep here. They'll make a movie about you one day.
I'd be very scared to see how they perform the sex
I'm,
scenes. Hey, you
you're
keep fucking asking about it, you sick fuck.
Can I ask you something? You're not a humanoid then, are you? Know? Are you humanoid up there, or are you like big tentacles?
I'm human, still.
Well, you're not really human. You're not for Earth, but you're for a different part of the galaxy. Obviously, there's humanoids in the galaxy. I know that. But what I'm saying is, Dakota, what's that? Do Draco Matting Claw make a good back scratch? What's that? What's that he's going on about?
That'd be like trying to please yourself with a velociraptor claw there, Dots.
Well, if Dots is into pleasing himself with a velociraptor, he should be allowed to. It's a free country. Well, I don't know if he is, but it's a free world, you know.
Not really. Liberate the people. Oh wait,
I've got one for you, right? I've had folk asking me this. I stay kind of away for this kind of stuff, but I'm going to ask you about it. What's your opinion in the weird news that's been coming out this weather about saying that there's a new brain illness, and if you see these people, their faces might be changing? You seen that?
okay. There's a couple different conditions you just described.
No. They're starting to put it out now. You remember that incident in the plane with the woman screaming frantically, saying that the person had changed into a demon?
Yeah, Tiffany
Remember it?
Gomez.
Right. No, this is the same. This is what they're saying. It's the same thing. It's some kind of weird condition that you get that will make you see these demon-looking people, right? But all the reports that everybody's seen, they all look exactly the same, which I find strange. Because if you had something wrong with you, you're a totally different person, you would think that that person that looked like a demon would look totally different. But everybody that's had this, they all look exactly the same. They look weird. Right? What's that film? I'll tell you what they look like. See, what's that superhero film? You're into all this kind of stuff, and it's like Avengers stuff. What's the name of her? She's a woman. She's a like superhero.
Woman superhero.
Oh, come on, you're into this kind of stuff. But in the movie,
You
there's
talking
aliens.
like shit? Oh, Captain Marvel.
Right. See the first Captain Marvel. Right. See the aliens that are feared
the
for the cat
Skrulls.
because she's right. Well, seemingly this is what people have been seeing. People that look like that. Look it up the new. Look it up, guys. And people have been saying. I was talking to somebody, and somebody sent me a video of her, and this construction worker in the United States, he was sitting in his cab at night, and he seen this thing walk out, and it looked at him, and it looked dead like one of them, and he made the mistake of telling somebody, and they said that he has this syndrome that makes them see these things, which is interesting.
Considering that is an actual species that's out there.
See, but that's what I'm trying to say is, for us that don't understand this kind of stuff, what is that? Because they're actually saying in the media, the mainstream media, that if you see a creature like this, it's you really just have a mental disease of some kind, which is really no true, because there actually is creatures like this, and it's just to cover it up. The fact to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
See where I'm going?
They're a form of they're reptilian-based life forms. They're like Dot says in the chat, partially based on the Naga.
Yeah,
and they're not all negative. There's actually some stories coming out of, say, like India, if I remember correctly, where the Naga are pretty prevalent in their in Hinduism and Buddhism and stuff like that, of these beings actually trying to help people.
So who are they then? Why are they? See, I watched a thing the other night there, and it says that there's over 1 million different species of extraterrestrials on this earth.
I wouldn't say they would be that high, but
I know, but you came at TikTok's like, but there is meant to be quite a lot of species.
There's your problem. You're basing all your intel on TikTok.
No, that wasn't the intel. That was actually CNN. I was watching an article on it, and they were going on about there's this new illness, and if you see one of these creatures, you've got a mental illness.
Yeah. I haven't seen this though, so if you actually have something,
I will look
show
it up.
me.
I will look it up. I've got it in my iPad over there. It's different accounts, so I'll show you after. But it is. It was. I seen it, and it was. I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this craziness? Because they said it was American news. It was CNBC. It was CNN. They were reporting it, and they're saying there's this new disease sweeping the country, and I know CNN, the Clown News Network. But look, I was like, what in God's name is this madness? And it was, if you just type on new disease, and it's making people see these strange creatures. I seen a guy talking about it on YouTube and all that kind of madness. I didn't read into it that much, and I just thought, holy shit, what's going on there? I just thought it was like a phase or that. But it's the way they show them, they look so like them out the Marvel movie. And then I thought maybe it's just something to do with the. But look, the world's messed up, man. Get I mean? I will say that image Dot sent me was interesting.
They're calling it PMO.
There you go.
Which parts of the faces of other people appear distorted in shape, texture, position, and color. There's some that they describe like, yes, they kind of look like the scrolls from the Marvel films.
Yeah.
But some also describe the appearance as looking more like Klingons or the Vulcans from Star Trek.
Aye, they've got the weird kind of ears. The ears are kind of pointy. But I mean, this is just a new thing. You would think if that was about, why is it just happening now? You would think there'd be cases for maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even. Why now? Is all their weird cloaking material makes them look human starting to wear off?
Well, there's a couple different things you got to take into consideration. One, not everybody's going to be strapping themselves in to see if they have some sort of weird brain illness unless there's something seriously wrong. Exactly. So there could be several people out there who may have this condition and assume that it's normal.
Yeah. But there is going to be people out there that have never experienced anything like this in their entire life. They're sitting one day and they see this weirdness.
Makes you wonder. I mean, honestly, when you really think about it, considering all the different neurological disorders, there's a lot of people that make the argument that all of these things didn't exist back in the day. And maybe that could be the case. Or perhaps we can look at it from a different angle. They were always there. We just became more aware of certain things. And if these neurological conditions have always existed, that would explain some of the shit coming out of mythology.
Oh, yeah. You think about, schizophrenia, right? You think of schizophrenia. You think about long ago, right? If you to go back to the Middle Ages, the witch trials and that, right? And somebody had schizophrenia and started shouting and screaming and saying, "Oh, look at that. I can see it. I can see it." How do we know, Ken, that the person that witnessed this wasn't just hallucinating?
One, they could very well have been hallucinating, and they would have probably been taken in themselves. And when you actually look at a lot of the symptoms of these alleged witches that they exhibited, these are people having epileptic seizure fits.
Yeah. Yep.
They were not well and being burned alive because of it. Because of that misunderstanding.
That Leonard Lowe, the witch guy that we've had on a few times, I was talking to him about this. And a lot of the witch trials were men that wanted the woman, right?
Yep.
And the women wouldn't go with them, so they deemed them as a witch. But some of them were mentally ill.
They had something seriously wrong with them.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why they were done. And it still happens today. I mean, there's people. I've met some strange people out there. I've met you're one of them, but I've met like some really strange people out there. I know, yes, I know I'm a strange individual, but come on. There is some really weird. Look, go to TikTok. TikTok is the maddest world. If you want to laugh tonight, guys, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to say to yourself, "Well, I'm not really that intelligent," go to TikTok, and 5 minutes later, I can guarantee you will feel like Einstein.
Oh yeah. I'll give you credit there. I'll give you credit there.
Because there's some absolute mad. What is this to do with the sun? See, honestly, I'm going to say this for whoever's watching this. Don't point your cell phone into the sun. Are you stupid or something? You'll burn out the sensor. This is what people don't realize. Oh, look at all the weird pattern on my screen. No, that's the sensor slowly dying, trying to focus on. If you want to do it correctly, you buy a lens for looking at the sun or a pair of welding goggles and hold it behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's people doing it and they're, oh, look at that. That's all the light bulbs that's in the sun. It's not all the light bulbs. It's the pixels slowly dying in your camera as it's trying to focus on the massive bright light.
Yeah. Yeah. People, it just goes to show how bad the education system has really fucked people over.
It really is. It really is. The education system's horrendous now, man.
I mean, first off, if people actually took half the time it took to try to come up with certain stories, these certain narratives, to actually look into what's going on, they may actually find that certain instances may actually be a hell of a lot more disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
When you really consider it. There's a lot more fucked up shit out there, but you need to get off your ass and actually be able to look into it and not just go, oh, sun, fake light bulb.
I know. They're trying to say that it's 500 light bulbs in the Chinese have built a space station. Do you really think, for somebody that's watching this, that you could build an artificial sun? You probably could, but it would be...
Well, I was about to say...
but it's no as bright as the sun. It's like the sun. It's no as... You can't what I mean.
Chris?
Really?
The Chinese actually had...
Yeah, I am.
The Chinese actually has developed a... I can't remember exactly what it is, but it looks like the power generator out of Spider-Man 2.
Oh,
When it gets turned on, it literally looks like an artificial sun on the earth. It is bright enough to turn night into day, which in China, you have to be careful because if you have something lighting up that much power with how much pollution is in the air, they've had to cancel fireworks shows because they would essentially turn everybody into napalm victims.
See, I've heard that, but I've never investigated it.
Oh, it's legit.
It's a lot of the flat earthers think that. A lot of the people that think the earth's flat.
Well, the Chinese actually just put out a submarine system that can actually be propelled by lasers, dude.
I seen that.
They figured it out. They figured it out.
Into that kind of stuff. I seen that.
Yeah,
I seen that. As the technology that's coming out the news is absolutely fantastic. But I'll tell you another bit of technology. This has nothing to do with the space. This is nothing to do with paranormal whatsoever. See the new electric cars that's getting built now. The new electric cars that will be built from 2025 will now be classed as disposable cars.
Disposable cars?
Yeah. They're designed, once they break, you can't repair them.
Oh, like that's going to be helpful for the environment.
And the reason,
try to claim they're saving.
You'll be like, what am I talking about here? I know somebody works in the car industry. And they were telling me that they actually worked for Jaguar and stuff like that, design cars, engines, parts of engines and stuff. And they were telling me today that 2025, the new electric cars, especially Chinese electric cars that will be coming out, are designed to break down after 6 years. Their lifespan is 6 years, right? And and you'll be like, what do you mean they'll be designed to break down? The drive shafts, the motors, the bearings, they're designed to break after a certain amount of miles. And plus they've got a code in them. I didn't ken this either, but this is madness. Do you know that the Chinese could shut down the entire grid in the United States and the UK and all the Western countries that have bought these cars? Just by flicking a switch. With the software that's on them. Horrendous. Research disease you're talking about, Chris, it's been around for over 100 years. At least I took it in development pills. Oh, thank you very much, Ian. Thank you very much. Where's he going? Is he away back to his wife, ladies and gentlemen? I think he is. Dakota! Dakota! Come back! And he's been took, guys. That's that. His wife's taken him back. His wife's took him back, and we'll never see him again. Look, the electric cars nowadays are utter rubbish. I mean, come on. See if you live somewhere like California or Nevada, somewhere warm, right? They're fine. Aye, they're quite good to get about the city in, right? But no Scotland, no the UK, no Ireland. Because as soon as you put the heater on, there's a guy up the back from me, got a Tesla. Did you enjoy your trip? What happened?
I don't know.
Was it? But anyway, I was just telling them the guy up the back from me has got a Tesla, and electric cars are not that good because he gets a 200. He was boasting he gets 200 miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I says, "What's it like in the winter time when it snows?" He says, "Oh well, you have to preheat the battery so it goes down to about 140 mile." Oh right. Can you get a heater? Oh, aye. If I turn the heater on, it drops down to 100 miles. And I says, right. So, and other kind of things you've got to kind of things that he says by the time that's how you get 60 miles to a charge in the winter time with the snow. It's worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Iron Firehorse. She was saying that about, she was telling the psychology that disease has been around for a long time. I did not know that. Thank you very much.
It has. But certain things have started to become a little bit more prevalent because they're saying that a version of the coronavirus,
Oh, God, I know.
that it is starting to cause hallucinations. So,
anyway, back to the electric cars. This guy works for a certain car manufacturer that was telling me this, and I'm not saying who he is because I don't want to give him any trouble. But
Ford.
No, British make. But anyway, what do you call it? He knows people that work in the Chinese factories and stuff, and they're bringing out by 2025, cars cannot be repaired. They're physically impossible to repair them. So see if it's designed after 6 years, it doesn't matter if it's sat in a garage and not turn a wheel. After 6 years, it's code. It's code inside it. I suppose there'll be a way of removing that code somehow. Somebody will think of something. But to think that it's the society we live in now, I mean, what we doing with all this lithium? I don't know if it's what it's like in the United States, but you should see it here with all the e-cigarettes that's lying everywhere. The disposable e-cigarettes, they're everywhere. There's been fires started in the forests because because they've got wet and then they've exploded and they've set fire to the woods. You can't just like if lithium gets wet or lithium gets punctured, a lithium battery gets punctured, it bursts into flames.
Up. And they're wanting people to stick it in the mouth.
And you can't put a lithium fire out with water, ladies and gentlemen. You just make things worse by putting it
yeah.
there. You've actually got to use a special
Yeah, you gotta use
chemical.
You gotta use a special foam for it. They actually have. They're actually kind of cool when you see them in action. But they have these specialized like little fire grenades that they can just toss in and it'll just blow out all this foam. It's kind of cool to watch.
I've seen it. There's a fire station just down for me. And electric cars, there was what I was talking to one fireman and he was telling us that they went to an electric car fire. It was in the motorway. And they put it out and it burst back into flames again. So they put it out. It burst back into flames again. And that they keep doing that, and they ran out of their stuff, and that it actually melted the road. That's how hot it got when the lithium started burning.
They're wanting to put people in those.
Absolutely horrendous waste. The biggest waste of money in the history of mankind is electric cars. Total waste of money. I don't like electric cars. I think in the UK they're bringing out a new tax called the tyre tax for electric vehicles, because they say the tyres are causing more deaths than it's causing cancer. They're saying that's what's causing cancer, is the tyres.
How?
Seemingly there's chemicals coming off the rubber that's causing the atmosphere. It's causing global warming. It's causing global warming.
They're not doing anything about those. A lot of those same chemicals being put in the food supply.
I know. Look at the Prime. Look at Prime.
Prime example.
Prime, definitely a prime example. Very good, but it's horrendous, man. They've come out with a report here in the UK that all UK fruit and veg has got forever chemicals in them for pesticides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't come off. It doesn't
come
off.
And this is no a dig the MD that's a vegan or somebody that doesn't eat animals or stuff like that. But I'm going to say this to these new vegans out there. You think you're all high and mighty because you don't eat meat. But you have no idea the amount of animals that are killed to make your food. You take, say, I don't know, 200 acres. That 200 acres, they say, I don't know, we'll say a crop is something that you eat, right? First of all, it gets sterilized. They kill every insect on it. Then they go after the things that eat the insects, like mice and voles and frogs and God knows what else. And they basically wipe them out. It's the same as in California with the almond. Is it the almonds? They actually ship in, 10 billion bees. And at the end of it, they all die. So it's just to pollinate it.
The thing is, when it comes to farming any the vegan crop, it's like you said, they got to go in with the pesticides to kill the bugs, and they got to go get something to kill the stuff that eats the bugs. Then you got to kill the stuff that eats those. And as they're harvesting, all the mice, the voles, all that stuff that gets in the way of the blades, chops it up. It's chopped up by the harvester blades. Then they got to go about another round and kill off all of the birds who have learned that if they just sit behind these harvesters, there's going to be some nice chopped up fresh meat.
I live in a farming community, and I'm not saying who did this, but I was away. It was maybe 10 miles away from where I was at a castle, and there was this weird smell in there. It was like a disinfectant smell, and I was like, "What the hell's that?" And it smelled like bleach. There was the farmer something. He's like, "Oh, what you up to? You're at the castle?" I went, "Aye." Getting to talking to him, and I says, "What's that smell?" And he says, "Oh, don't worry about that. It's just the pesticides we put down in between the fields. It kills off all the rodents." And I'm like, "What do you grow?" And I said, "Oh, we grow barley and wheat and hops for the beer industry and stuff like that." And I says, "Does that not make it into the food system?" He says, "Aye, a wee bit it does, but it's all legal. It's all above board."
But yeah, there's I can't remember the exact term of it, but there's essentially fuck, I wish I remember the name of the term, and if anybody knows it.
Same with me with the alien one.
It's like alien things is one thing. Anybody in the chat knows the term, please do say it. But essentially, it's a term to describe how much of a supply of a certain item you would need in order to kill half the population.
Yeah.
Half a sample population. Water has a determination for this as well. They essentially have said that you can have less than this amount to kill off half the people.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's what it essentially.
Yeah,
it's essentially what it amounts to. They literally measure how much of this dangerous shit they can put in by killing off half of a population.
I'm going to tell you something right now. Is Andy here? Do you like steak?
Of course.
Right. I live next to beef cattle properties, and I was talking to the farmer one day, and he was putting pellets into their feed. Just little wee pellets, just little polar mints, just little wee white pellets. And I'm like, what's that? He says antibiotics, and I'm like, what? And I says antibiotics. We've got to give them constantly it's mixed into the feed. Now that's getting into that meat. Then that meat's getting killed, and then obviously the cow's getting killed. Then that meat's going into your plate, and you're eating that, and you're actually consuming those antibiotics. Do you know that antibiotics have been proven to cause bowel cancer?
Mm-hmm. What doesn't cause cancer these days?
I know what doesn't cause cancer. I've not had an antibiotic in 6 years, and I'm hopefully stay away from them because they're good if you're no real, but see, just taking them for the most random things.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, profit over wildlife. There is no other how the governments won't let them. Yeah, legislation.
Well, a prime example of what's going on with a lot of major governments, and I think we can safely say that this is happening for both the U.S. and the UK. A prime example would be to look at the TikTok ban that was recently signed in
You
by
seen
President
that?
Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, TikTok naturally is going to fight it. They have a lot of ways of doing it. You know, the number of business owners. Bald and Bonkers is actually in the shop for TikTok as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, we're part of that fight now. Anyway, just look at the trial for the TikTok CEO, who was from Singapore, not China, and the number of times that the congressman said, "Oh, are you from China? Do you have a
Mm-hmm.
Chinese visa? Have you served in the Chinese military? Do you have any Chinese contacts?" China,
Mm-hmm.
trying to say that he was affiliated with China.
Yeah,
And no matter how many times the dude say, it's like, that's from Singapore. Oh, that's
yeah.
China.
No, it's not. It was British ruled at a certain point. It was like Hong
Hey,
Kong. And yeah. No.
the fuck?
What's that? It's an
I have
algorithm.
no clue.
Nah, just keep talking. Right, when you go.
Oh, sorry, that just fucking distracted me.
You're
But
talking to
anyway,
Singapore.
no, not Singapore, because they fucking rolled their eyes whenever they saw that bullshit. But nevertheless, a lot of the poor education that's being instilled on the public is from dumbass legislatures that don't know any better.
Yeah,
They don't know actually how shit works, which
I
is
seen this.
kind of scary
I
when you think about it.
look. I seen the guy asking the Chinese guy sitting at the table. He says like that. He says, "Did your home router access TikTok? Your phone accesses your home router. Your iPad accesses the home router. Your TV accesses your home router. Your laptop accesses the home router. Everything that you've got a Wi-Fi connected. My Jesus Christ and all its holy, my Apple Watch. I don't need my phone to use my Apple Watch. It's connected to the Wi-Fi in my house."
Mm-hmm.
And they were asking stupid questions that don't make any sense. I'll tell you why they're wanting rid of TikTok. I think they're wanting rid of TikTok because TikTok is going against the regime in America now,
Oh yeah.
right? Because they're with Trump now, and Trump's obviously got a TikTok account on in there, and there's a lot of people that support Trump and TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's see if it was totally the other way around about. See if they all supported Biden, they wouldn't ban that. They wouldn't ban it. They
You
wouldn't.
know, there's this he goes by the name Renegade Science Teacher who made a valid point in one of his videos. They had bipartisan support to ban TikTok over stopping wars, over feeding the homeless, taking care of the war veterans that were promised all their benefits for their terms of service. They chose to ban a children's dancing app, which granted has become a lot more than that since, but a children's dancing app instead of actually taking care of the people.
Yeah.
Instead of, they're trying to fund the wars going on right now instead of actually trying to stop them, stop people from dying. I guess less
That's
money going out to the poor people, huh?
that what Lawrence has just put there's interest, and I heard about that the other day.
Did you know that only recently it was said that the English how the fuck?
Right, you ever heard of a thing, Sunday dinner?
Okay,
Do
is
you
that
know it's now
something else over
illegal?
there?
It's actually illegal in the UK now, and you can look it up to say roast dinner, Sunday roast. You're not allowed to say that now because it's offensive to people.
So
Yep.
what, the vegans?
No, because seemingly roast means something else. I don't know that the youngsters are using roast to mean some other weird thing that I don't have a clue what they're talking about. But seemingly, look it up, type it in your Google.
Okay, I
It's
gotta look. I gotta look this.
it's,
What?
it's yeah. You look up roast. Look up the laws and saying roast dinner. It's the same as the Scottish one. I can't say good morning to somebody in case it's meant to be getting brought into law. Seemingly, if you say it, you can get done for a hate crime or some mad thing like that. George Orwell, 1984. I'm telling you, this country's had it. This country's totally gone. Completely. It's only a matter of time before it starts falling apart.
I think
I
it
knew
is
the
starting to
dying.
fall. I don't know. I
I'll look it up for you, wait in a sec, because I was on there the other day looking at it.
It's like, yeah, Sunday. It's like, yeah, there's Sunday dinner. Yeah, we had that over there, obviously, but not like. I don't know. I don't get it. Wouldn't want to be a young person growing up these days. Yeah, honestly, Iron Fire Horse.
Here we go. Here's the mirror.
I legitimately fear for my younger niece, who's barely 5 months old here in a week.
They're saying the women's sparks heated debate over controversial roast dinner. You shouldn't call it roast dinner because it's controversial.
Can you send
Welcome
that
to
me?
women's sparks debate over controversial roast dinner. A women's offence lynch has sparked debate online, even made it TV. She said her meals feels illegal. One joke needs discipline for her choice. So it's something to do with the. Here, I'll get it for you. It's funny in a minute, but I need to go there. Sending it to you now. It's on its way.
Okay.
There's others ones there. I was seeing folk going on about it. There's Wales online. Shameless. It's because roast means something else in the dictionary. It's like kind of I was talking about like animal clapping sheep and stuff like that. Obviously, in my language it means just petting them in the head, but obviously in yours it means something totally different. Well, that's what it's starting to say over here, and it's the stupidest thing. And UK, I seen them all going on about it the other night, and they were talking about it in the Xbox the other night.
How the fuck is Sunday roast associated with sex?
Right, and that's why it's getting
What
banned.
the fuck?
Yep.
How? What?
Yep. Well, seemingly it's now getting banned.
If I'm reading this right, it's somehow associated sexually, and I'm just like,
Yep.
ha!
I know. It's
Did my
it's the
face just?
fucking.
What the fuck?
I don't. It's bad as my brother Drew in the chat. But look, it's the world we live in. You can't say anything new, or in case you offend somebody.
Oh, fucking hell!
Look at Scotland. Look at Scotland, ladies and gentlemen. It's illegal to say good morning to somebody because then, if they disagree with you, you can be charged with a hate crime.
See, thank you, Iron Fire Horse. I was like roasting people. Are they talking like like the celebrity roasts they do?
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about
Get me
that.
off
But
this fucking planet.
I know I've been begging them to take me back, but they'll not take me back. I'm like, where did I leave my spaceship parked up? I mean, come on, seriously, what's going on? It's like madness. The madness
And
we're living in.
like,
You're
here's
not
the
allowed
thing.
to say roast dinner anymore. You've got to say like Sunday dinner.
That's the thing, and that the shit's allowed to prosper. I mean, think about it. Like, let's say what 20 years ago, this shit wouldn't be allowed. Everybody would just tell these people to shut the fuck up. It's
Exactly.
like this thing is allowed to prosper
But you've
because
got to
that people
remember,
will know that it would
for me in
stir up
Scotland, I'm not allowed to
controversy.
say that.
But
I can't
I'm in
say
the
that,
US,
and you've
so
just, but see, because if I had to say that to somebody, shut that. In theory, I could be fined up to £500, and I would be put on a list where I wouldn't be allowed to travel because I'd be classed as a criminal.
you think they would let you travel because they wouldn't want you around.
I know.
You know, right?
If I could get off this country, I'd be off in a flash. It's madness. You can't do nothing.
I'm speechless. I legitimately am speechless.
It's the world is mad. Here's one for you. Totally changing the subject. Did you see the horses escaped in London the other day? The black horse and the red horse. No, the black horse, the white horse with the red blood going down it. Did you see that?
No.
Do you know that was foretold? That was foretold for the Antichrist is coming. It's like an Nostradamus thing.
Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
You know how you've got the horse guards in London? Well, seemingly builders is what they're blaming it on. Drew Kens about it. They were building work getting done. There was a big bang. The two guards were chucked off the horses at the Royal Palace, and the two horses ran away. But there was a black horse ran away, and there was a white horse ran away. But the white horse had blood all the way down it because it cut itself. Well, supposedly cut itself. But they're saying that that's actually in Nostradamus. It's actually in the black horse, the white horse will be seen in the days leading up to what do you call it, the Antichrist. But I don't believe in all that shit. I think it's made up. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Weird.
I also say that a lot of Nostradamus prophecies are highly misinterpreted by people that didn't understand how he spoke.
I will say it was pretty close with the Hitler one. The Hitler one. Hitler. I'm going to say that now. It was. And he also said about the Euphrates, the Euphrates River will dry up and an army will come across. Well, the Euphrates River has dried up, nearly. And they're talking about an army for that side. And the army, we know that's what's happening in Europe, right? Could be an army. But I will say he was bloody close with Hitler. We called him Hister. As I'm going to say about that, some of the stuff he came out with was a load of shit, never harmed. But then you've got Baba, is it Baba Vanga? You've got Harte, the blind mystic.
Well, that's the thing you gotta consider, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Time is not stone. It's not set in stone. It's very fluid. The very act of observation changes the outcome. That's what you got to take into consideration. Simply observing something happening changes how it will play out. That's why an old medium friend of mine, mind you, he was from Brooklyn. I know I've said this several times before, but I'm just clearing up for historical accuracy. He said, if you get a glimpse of the future and the future is good, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Pretend it didn't happen.
Pretend, exactly. I mean, look, there's a lot of weird, everybody's got weird traditions. If you go to Jerusalem now, I see they've killed the red heifers. Do you hear about
that? Aye.
And they've sacrificed them. They paid a lot of money for those cows. A lot of money. Millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars. Because they were a certain breed of cow. And they got to be completely red. They were genetically the way they sourced them out. But they seemingly sacrificed them. I mean, if you to go to Israel and do that, I mean, what's happening there is horrendous right now. You would think they would learn from what happened in the war, wouldn't you? You would honestly, you would think they would learn from what happened in World War II,
Well,
and then they're doing it. And even have you seen that people, even some of the Jewish people, are rising up against their own leaders because of what's happening? I don't know why we
yeah,
can't just live all together, man, and be in peace. I just don't understand it.
but that's the thing. That's the thing. Like Samuel Chong was saying last week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is one of those situations where we have to start rising up, regardless of what our backgrounds are, because people up high are fucking manipulating us. They have been manipulating us for quite some time in order to get away with their own interests, especially in regards to money.
Exactly. It's the world's. We need to stop using money. Again, that's stupid saying that because we need money for everything. But come on. I see the US dollar's about to collapse. That's inedible. I'll try to pronounce that word, but it's going to happen soon, really soon. I don't know what will take over after it, but probably that CBD system, digital currency. No.
Well, like I said before, technically, when you look into it, the world is already partially funded on a digital currency system because we only have 10% actual physical value. We have 10% of all the world's funds right now is physical currency. It's like 5 to 10%. I can't remember the exact statistic on it. So everything else truly does not exist.
Exactly.
When you really think about it. So it's already in a digital currency. I mean, look at let's see, what was it? The founder of Cash App, who died under mysterious circumstances after the IRS basically put out their own version of Cash App.
Yep.
He ended up stabbed on the side of the road. That was a fucking hit. Where's the coverage on that shit?
Apple Pay and PayPal and all these digital kind of things to use to pay, either great, but they're all connected. They all lead back to one person who created them. And I learned something new tonight for somebody that's into this kind of stuff. If you get a digital banking app,
who doesn't these
days?
I'll
get you in. But do you know that if you've got a digital banking app, the government can access all your information and they can take anything they want.
Yep.
And people don't realize it.
I'm well aware of how that shit works.
Yeah.
Now, typically, a lot of these banks would have to have some sort of warrants put out, stuff like that, in order to freeze accounts. Basically the police would have to prove that this person was, say, like a major terrorist or things like that.
Yep.
And they need to dry up his resources as much as possible before someone else gets hurt. It happens. It does happen.
But then they bring in the CBD system, whereas they don't want you using your car outside your area. Like, say there's another lockdown, right? Let's say there's another mad, weird pandemic that gives you madness, right? Grows back here or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, there's a weird pandemic, right? Me and you'll be line up, we'll be deliberately going up to folk going, give me it. But anyway, never mind that. What if you go, right, you're in the digital currency and they're like, right, you're not allowed to travel 6 miles for your house. But you go 6 miles out of your house and you get into a shop or you go to buy gas, but your bank doesn't work because it knows that you're outside 6 miles outside your house. You see where I'm going with this? And then it comes down to the 15-minute cities where they close you in. And do you know the show we did? And was it Man Chung? See that show? Did you get a strike for that show? Out of curiosity?
Nope. At least not on any of the main channels.
See how it goes out and goes to Scotland. It's restricted.
It got hit. It got hit on there.
I couldn't monetize it. It wouldn't let me monetize it. It wouldn't let me monetize it.
Shitting me.
No, it wouldn't let me. I couldn't let it. Was restricted monetized. I'll show you. If you get into your YouTube studio,
I'm actually going in right now because I gotta see this shit.
It wouldn't let me monetize. You'll notice it's not monetized. Where is it live?
Right, YouTube Studio.
It's there. It's
Man, you
no,
look
it
up a
was
lot of porn.
it's all that alien stuff, man. Gets to you after a wee while. But you'll notice it's no, it's Regressed Reflections. It's no the one for that, it's the one after it. It wouldn't let me monetize it because every time I monetized it, it says this is unmonetizable and you may get a strike. So it wouldn't let me monetize it.
It's saying that it's monetized on my end.
Yep. But when I click on it, it'll no let me monetize it through the app. And I tried doing it through the main end, but it says it was restricted. It's maybe my country.
It says, I'm looking at it right now. It says this video is being monetized.
But no, it's not monetized in my end.
I'm looking at it. I'm in Squad Scotland account in
We'll
the
see for
YouTube
new on.
studio.
We'll see for new on. You're going to have to do it for me for the videos because it'll no let me do it through my end because I'm in the UK.
Maybe.
Because it came up a big red. See the dollar symbol.
Aye.
It came up red for me and it says unmonetizable.
Well, you just need to stop running your damn mouth so damn much.
I know, terrible, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? I'll just get him to monetize it. It'll be fine. It's not as if you make it and own it anyway. But get what I mean. But
Right.
once we start the extreme sports, bungee jumping, parachuting, we should start making the money in, Go fund me for
Yeah,
Dakota.
are you actually going to be getting
I'll
in
do it.
there and not being a
No,
lazy motherfucker?
I'm going to come with you. I'm going to do it at the same time as you. Parachuting.
Unfortunately, I looked into it. I'm too big.
I know. You're too big.
I seriously am.
I'm the same. I can't do either.
I went to look into it after my grandma went down to Vegas and said she was going skydiving. I was just like, I want to come.
We could pick somebody out the chat to do it.
Are you wanting to toss your brother out of an airplane?
I think he would love it. I honestly think he'd be right into that kind of stuff. As long as it was maybe over the Caribbean, some of the islands that have not been looked over yet. You know what I'm talking about? Ones that have not been investigated yet. Thousands of islands out there.
Oh no, I think we'll drop him off on Epstein's Island.
There's nothing there anymore. It's just an empty shack.
How do you know?
Do you think they do? Do you think they do have those secret tunnels in the Rockets? The what?
In the Rockies?
The Rockies.
Yeah, it's called the cave systems, and they're fairly complex. You don't know what you're doing, you're going to end up dead. In fact, they say there's rumors that there might actually be an inner Earth entrance not too far from me.
The Mount Shasta one, there's meant to be the city that I can't mind their name, but they live in there. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, Mount Shasta is one of the more popular ones, obviously, but there's other spots that have some very similar anomalies. And speaking of which, now that the weather's actually getting nicer, that might start kicking up again.
What? Talking about weather, did you see that anomalies back?
Are you talking about the one out of Antarctica?
Started again. Weather modification, that's what it is. I was talking to somebody that's friends with... See the YouTuber that broke that? The big YouTuber that broke that? I can't mind his name. But anyway, the big YouTuber that broke that is friends with my friend. And I was actually talking to that the other day about this. And see me, it's HARP. It's HARP. That's where they've put it down. It's HARP. It was weird just after that. Look what happened in Saudi Arabia. It was just that the big black spot was getting up and Saudi Arabia was out here. And then what was that? Fucking 10 years worth of rain fell in like a minute or something stupid like that. That was bad.
Saudis are needing it.
But yeah, I think they fucked up there, by the way. I really do think they fucked up there. But
well, when you fuck up with technology like that bug comes to bite you in the ass.
I'm going to say this, there's something wrong with the weather. There's something wrong with the weather here in the UK. It's not just me that's noticed it. There's other people noticed it. Hello, whoever you are. But I'm going to tell you why. Yesterday, I was out in the car. It was 17 Celsius. 17 Celsius. I checked my weather app. It said it was 18 Celsius, so it was a wee bit colder. Obviously, in the car, you're driving along, it's get colder. And I thought to
Right.
myself, and I was out a walk, and I wasn't far for the car. I was like maybe 800 meters, and then all of a sudden it got really cold, and I could see my breath. Right, so I get back to the car like half an hour later, and it dropped down to 2 Celsius. Right. Then I did my card readings like I usually do, and it was way back up again to 19 Celsius. And I checked the weather app, and it was at 19 again. I get back out, and it was warm. So I went home, brought the washing in. And I'm standing looking at the back, and I seen these white things coming down, big bits of snow. Right, I went outside, and I thought it's warm. And there's a temperature, kind of old-fashioned temperature gauges on the wall that I've put up,
Mhm.
kind of one with the mercury in them, and it said 18C, and there was bits of snow coming down. That means that there's something going on in the stratosphere. That means that there's something going on in the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there's something. And I have noticed this, and a lot of friends round about me. I've got friends that keep bees for honey. The bees are dying. They're like flying about, disorientated, and just dropping down dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, something is going on. They're doing something to. I think they're trying to fuck the crops up deliberately.
Would not be
Nothing can
shocking.
get pollinated. Yeah. It's like
Would not be
it's weird
shocking.
because I've got a weather station, right, and I'll tell you exactly how warm it is outside. It's 6 Celsius outside right now. But it was weird because it was like, what the hell is going on? 1 minute it was warm, and then 10 minutes later it was freezing, and then 10 minutes later it was warm again. It was so weird.
Mhm.
What is that? Is that like geoengineering or something?
Manipulation of ELF.
Is that what that is? Eh?
They utilize the ELF frequencies in order to manipulate the weather patterns.
So
Which
what
is
do you think?
interesting. Which is interesting when you really think about it. Because a lot of psychic phenomenon has actually been traced to very similar frequency ranges.
Yeah. See, there's one
So
thing.
harp technology could actually be used to fuck with people psychically when you
See,
really
I
think
was thought
about it.
that. I was thought that. It's called the Scottish Summer. But Drew, you live in. It's weird
I
this
know.
year. There's
I was
just
about
something.
to,
It's no right.
I
We
was
never
about to
had heavy
say
snow
it's the weird.
this year.
It's like about to say the weird weather was like, what was it? Sunny and nice and beautiful.
I'm going to say this. The skies were blue, but it was like somebody was playing tic-tac-toe with airplanes.
Yeah, get a lot of
It was
those over here too.
ridiculously bad. I mean, it was ridiculously bad, really bad. And I don't know if you've noticed this, Dakota, because I know that you're a gaming person. Seen a lot of like real world games now. They do a lot of chemtrailing deliberately in the games. Have you seen that, especially in GTA? And that's obviously the younger people will look at that and think, oh, that's just chemtrails. When they go outside, they'll just think, oh, that's normal, because they'll see it in the game because they'll be that used to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, there's something no right. The bees are dying. No, even bees, wasps are dying. And this is the time of year when you start getting the yellow jackets, like what you call them, looking for I know. But I've been finding lots of them like twitching dead, just like twitching away, twitching as if they're taking a stroke. Dead. I found a queen yellow jacket lying at the back the other day, and I was like, big thing, right? It's dead. Dead. That's very unusual. You don't get that. What the fuck is happening, my sweeties? Listen, guys. Pete here, Son of the Naked Bigfoot, is 4 subscribers off of 50, right? Please, Drew, could you please go and subscribe to Son of the Naked Bigfoot? I think you'll like him. He's a very interesting channel. He learned something new the other day with a Ohio State Trooper. Could you please go and subscribe to him? Let's get him. Let's get Son of the Naked Bigfoot to 50 subscribers so he can do a live. Send me the link. Right, come on. Pete, drop your channel link in the chat, could you please? Which channel? I'm just going to copy it here. Share.
With the event, anyway, as we were saying, with everything that's going on now, and the events that are supposed to be happening just over the next year, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see what happens next.
Oh yeah. To be honest with you, I don't think there's got to be wars. I don't think there's got to be another war. And that's my honest opinion. My predictions is the climate is going to go through the roof. Something weird's going to happen this year. But it's got to be man-made, but they'll put it as global warming bullshit. Bet that happens.
They're going to push global warming narratives, so you're going to see even more potentially weird viruses starting to come out. I've noticed they've been trying to push those too.
You see the new virus in Japan?
Oh.
Strep A. The new, look it up, the new virus that's is a bacterial virus. And they're saying it's spreading in Japan.
Streptococcal A, commonly known as Strep A, threatening children.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new strain. Fatality rate 30%. They're not exactly sure what's triggering it, but it is strep throat.
Yeah. But here's a question. I mean, what's your prediction for this year? Do you think the weather's got to get more extreme?
Honestly, I think we're going to be seeing things coming at us from all angles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean, you see that video clip coming out of LaGuardia Airport?
No. What's this?
So this woman, LaGuardia is out of New York City, right? So this woman and her kid, they're on a flight, heading out of New York City. And as you do, if you're lucky enough to have a window seat, you maybe want to take some pictures of the New York skyline.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sight. And as she's recording video, she goes to notice all of a sudden something darts across her screen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first thing she thinks is that, is that a bug that's in the plane? No. It's a silver cylindrical object that's darting through the air and fast. And it's pretty impressive how close it is, too.
That's interesting. I'll need to look that up when I get back. I will say that video that Dot shared is interesting. You seen that?
Yes, Dots, I did see that. I know I didn't really respond to you, but I was kind of preoccupied.
Yeah, he's floating about. Zero G again.
You can say
bloody
that.
Terrible. Can he stop him? Nobody there's so many bloody wains about up there. I think they need to
Only
bring up.
four.
I think they need to get a fucking condom machine fitted in the spaceship.
Only 4 that I'm aware of.
But come on. I mean, look.
And again, going back to my earlier question, what is it with you and your fascination with my love life?
I just find it interesting. I find it intriguing because I think Son of the Naked Bigfoot, he would find it interesting too how extraterrestrials do it, especially if you got loads of tentacles and stuff like
that. His dad was interested in that. Was asking about that type of stuff. And I'm just like,
I'm going to say this to
no, he asked on live.
Mm-hmm.
He asked on live. He's like, I would just be interested in alien sex rituals.
I'm going to blame it on Mike the Naked Bigfoot. He has possessed me, and that's why I'm asking you.
You have been asking about that since before he passed. You sick, perverted, lonely fuck.
But come on, what's that? It's like strep throat. There's Pete Put. It's like strep throat, but only catching it doing oral things. Well, you better watch yourself, Pete.
As Christine says, like father, like son.
Oh, God. Let's see how many subscribers Pete's got now. Hey, he's nearly there. He only needs 3 more, I think. Come on, guys. Give him a subscribe. I want to see him there live for like a haunted location or something.
Well, we had him past 50, but
I
then
know,
YouTube
but
started
that's
taking away.
nah, that's what YouTube does. You know what I mean?
I know they
YouTube
hit
does
us.
that.
They hit us with that too. Anytime we get a decent guest, but nature
I
of the
know.
beast.
I know.
That's why all of our stuff is backed up on Rumble and so many different other locations.
I know. But at least, yeah, I mean, at least it's not happened so far. Well, please don't happen.
I was about to say, and it is kind of interesting when you think about it that only certain channels are getting hit for certain videos.
Oh, I
You know what I mean?
It's like there's channels out there that are like ghost channels that are 100% fake. Step to that, all right, they're getting hit for that. But I've noticed that if the Bald and Bonkers show gets hit, right? If you go to the other channels, it doesn't get hit whatsoever. I don't understand that. You'd think it would
And that's what I
affect them all.
mean. And it's the same for the same fucking videos. Nothing's been altered between any of them. You know what I mean? And the main channel gets copyright notices anytime someone's puts up our contents, and we can issue a takedown if needed. But you would think that they would also get hit with the same flags. Like
It's
the last
definite.
couple times we had Danny Henderson on.
Oh, I know. She must get attacked quite a lot. I mean, she does
She
put
does.
out really good videos. She really
Yeah.
does put out really
Oh,
good
that
videos.
Danny honestly kind of reminds me of my grandmother.
But she's quite young anyway. Danny's not that old. She's only in her 40s. Same age
No,
as me.
no, that's not
That's
what I mean.
terrible
That's not what I
saying
mean.
that, Danny. You need to slap him the next time you see him at an event.
That means it's a heartfelt woman whose mouth gets her in a hell of a lot of trouble. And anybody who actually follows her can probably attest to that.
I like her shows. I like her shows. I watch her shows. I
tease with love, Danny, I promise. But I honestly do think you and my grandma would probably get along very well.
That's terrible.
They are very much alike.
There you go. So what's on the show tomorrow?
And more BSing because, like I said, hey, why do I got to come up with everything, man? I'm working overtime.
I've got guests coming on. I've got a World Around Psychic coming on. 2 World Around Psychics coming on next month.
We'll see if they're worth a damn.
They're actually quite good. Son of the Naked Bigfoot, Pete, join us tomorrow night, man. Come on the live with us.
Why not?
Come on live with us, man, and tell us about what you've all been doing and stuff. You don't need to turn on your camera if you don't want to.
If you're worried about being seen as ugly, he shows his face.
I know. I come out all the time. I mean, I try to make him feel better, you know. At least I can grow a beard. At least I don't have like baby hairs. At least I no, but your lead is different for like anybody else's. You're like space. 0G floating about. Do, 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 do. You know, floating about there. You know?
Yeah, at least it's nowhere near as bad as that one couple of interns that decided to do it inside NASA on top of some moon rocks.
I heard that. I heard about that.
It's like, pick a classier place. Come on. Anyway, we should
before we end this, we should really talk about the moon more and why we didn't go back there and stuff like that. Because I maybe was getting asked questions like that. Let's talk about that tomorrow.
I know, because there's been a lot of activity. Stuff. I know you were wanting to talk about that railway on the moon, but I guess we can bring it up tomorrow.
Bring it up tomorrow. Everybody be safe, guys. See you all tomorrow. Pete, stay away from Ohio State troopers and don't be saying things that you shouldn't.
Yeah. Pete, it takes a certain amount of good looks to get away with asking to be cuffed.
What's the schedule thing? It's just appeared in my schedule.
That's the thing I just created so that way we can actually do the fucking show.
That's weird, that. We're having problems tonight, Dots.
That was fucking weird. We didn't even really have anything planned for tonight. It's just a BS filler episode.
Yeah, see, that's the. We'll blame the men in black. Hey,
So
the men in black.
Just to kind of explain what happened and why some people watching the lives may be a little confused right now. So naturally, we utilize Streamlabs in order to do this. It lets us go out to all these different destinations at once. Then we can reuse the audio, blah, 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 blah. Even comes with a bunch of other toys that helps us repurpose the shows, get it out on like little clips on TikTok for as long as that's still up. You know, maybe Vine, because there's talk of Elon bringing Vine back, stuff like that. So when I got into the thing, it shows up like a little schedule. You're supposed to click studio, enter studio, and there, you're good to go. All your stuff's set up. For some reason, when Chris came in, all that shit disappeared. And as I explained in the chat for the previous video, that hopefully will delete itself when we don't come on in time. So we started a little early. Basically, what had happened is that the fucking door for the hosts to get in to do this show the way we have it set up was like it was plastered over and hidden from us.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get the fuck in. So we had to
when I come in, I thought, oh, I've beat Dakota to it. He's a wee bit late tonight. And I thought, oh, there it's there, enter studio. And it went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've entered the studio. Like usually they click on it. And then I went, oh, share this out on Twitter. And I looked back up, Dakota was in, and it disappeared.
I basically hopped out to log out and log back in, see if that would have fixed it, but I have no fucking clue what happened.
Ken, this has got nothing to do with this, but Ken, see lately, I don't know if there's something in the air, right? I just feel weird today. I felt weird all day today, but never mind that. I keep getting electric shocks off my motor. And it's only within the last week I've been getting electric shocks from my car. And it's only from my car door. But obviously I don't get into the other side of the motor, but obviously it's driver's side. But I've been getting electric shocks off everything, not just my car door, like the house door and stuff like that, as if there's static electricity running about me. It's weird. It's the beard.
Well, yeah, something seriously wrong with your car, and you're going to blow up. I don't know.
I know it's quite a modern car. It's weird digital things in the dash and all that kind of stuff. Fuck that.
Yeah, that'll fucking do it.
Hello, Louise. Hello, Lawrence. Dots was unlucky today with the card readings, you know. Tomorrow, don't worry. I promise you'll only get the devil 3 times. There's only 1 devil in the pack, so you should be fine.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. But
you're off counting cards again.
Yeah. I wish I could count the cards about bloody Las Vegas to now. You know? But, you don't get your alien contacts. You don't get your alien contacts to help you when next time you go to like the Las Vegas or something like that.
Doesn't work like that.
Nah, no, doesn't work like that. It could help. It could. All we're asking for is $100 million.
No, it's a game of probability.
Oh no, it's a game of probability. Mere chance of getting trampled to death by a 2-legged donkey.
Trust me, I've tried using dreams where I for some reason I dreamt of lotto numbers, and I tried copying those numbers to see what would happen.
Well, actually, I've been lucky lately. And especially with the Euro Millions, I've been winning like 3 or 4 or maybe £6 or £7 each time. And I've noticed if you go in a diagonal line when you're picking them, see, I ken somebody that plays 1, 3, 6, 8, 9. That's his numbers. That's what he always plays. Never. I mean, the numbers are just like really hard. I mean, you can see how much the Euro Millions is. Hey, Louise, the Euro Millions, 143 million euros. Yeah. What's that in dollars? About $145 million. Remember that?
I don't know. I'm too tired to do that fucking math, man.
I know. I put a couple of lines on. Fuck it. You don't see me after the Tuesday.
Fucking hell. It's bad enough we gotta figure out time zones between us just to do the fucking show, man.
Well, I'll tell you something new. If I had to win the Euro Millions, which is highly improbable, I would move to the United States.
And probably get your ass arrested.
Oh no, I'd be fine. Look at Pete. He's away in the
All
mountains.
no, all the shit you like to joke about would probably get your ass sued over here.
I'm in Scotland. You're not allowed to do anything. You're not allowed to say good morning to somebody. You're not allowed to say how was your roast dinner. You're not allowed to say these things anymore.
Mm.
You know.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I've made a pledge, and it's all my subscribers. If I win the Euro Millions, I'm giving every one of them $100,000 that come into my chat that talk to me. No, the ones that don't talk to me, they can bugger off. But for all the ones that talk to me, I'll get 100,000.
How desperate are you for attention that you feel like you need to bribe people just to talk to you?
No, it's not to talk to.
How desperate for
give money
attention?
away.
Why would? Yeah, and what's going to happen when that money goes away? All those people are going to disappear. So you may as well just buy yourself a nice call girl, put her on retainer, and have a good time.
But I think $150 million. I mean, it's going to last you for quite a wee while. I mean, just think how happy you will be if that to happen, which is not going to happen. There's mere chance of me getting hit by lightning, trampled to death by a herd of two-legged donkeys, and then Dot showing up and beating me to death with a wet fish. Right? It's not going to happen.
That seemed awfully specific.
Well, there's ways of dying. You think about all the ways that you could possibly die. How many people do you think are born every minute?
Hard to say, really.
106. Or the entire planet. How many people do you think are 106 people die every minute, right, in the world. 200 and I think it's 23 are born every minute. It's quite interesting, that, isn't it? Because it's obviously, it just shows you how they say population's going down, but it can't be if that's going up.
No, the infant birth rates in several countries are actually starting to slow down to where I think they said India actually surpassed the population of China not too long ago.
Wow. Who has the biggest population on Earth? Is it the Chinese?
I believe it's let's see. Country has largest population. India. Yeah.
India. Mm-hmm.
Estimated population of 1,428,627,663.
Wow, that's a lot, and that's just crazy. Hey,
yeah, India. Yeah, India actually surpassed China because there's so much shit going down in China right now.
There's that new disease or whatever it's called in Japan, and all the kind of other kind of mad things. Look, there's always got to be diseases, and I see they've brought out a new vaccine. There's a new vaccine for cancer. Have you heard about this? A new mRNA vaccine that's been developed off of COVID vaccine.
Yeah, they've been trying that for a while now.
Yeah, and I watched the guy the day about it. He says, "Oh, I was terminally ill, knew I'm all right, knew and all that. But good for him, and all that. But he's had that vaccine. I don't trust the vaccines, and that's the honest truth. I may as well say this because they've got to be making it illegal in the UK to talk about the COVID shot. I may get it out my system before they make that illegal.
Yeah, kind of figures with the number of investigations already starting to crop up because of how many people dying from heart-related conditions that seem to be correlated with the vaccine.
I know 27 people that have died, all with blood clots, since last year.
And of course, naturally, this live is probably going to get flagged because of this. Remember, we do have several channels that we're go out to, and our YouTube is backed up on Rumble
Yes,
just in
Simply
case.
Alan. It's skin. There's Simply Alan trying to correct me. I said cancer. I never said skin cancer. I just said cancer vaccine.
It's like
Skin cancer. It's
when
the
you
same thing, and
not really.
Your melanoma and all that kind of stuff. I know what you're talking about, but it's look. They're still using the They're still using the oath, the COVID vaccination. Right? They're still using the same techniques. Right? I don't care. I'm unvaccinated, and quite frankly, I'm happy I'm unvaccinated. Because you're unvaccinated, didn't you, Dakota?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How many people in the chat are unvaccinated? Say yes.
You really want to? You want to start outing people like that? Come on.
Yeah, come on. It's come on. Look, it's the world is changing that quick, right? The world's. I don't know. I was made horrendous. Folk taking the piss out of me. Oh, you've no got that. You've no got this. Oh, you're going to die and all that kind of stuff. See the people that said that to me don't even talk to me anymore because they care I'm right. Care I'm right. And it's. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It is a little funny that Pfizer all of a sudden has several grants for heart-related research when all this is going on. It's also not the first time that Pfizer has rebranded a bunch of their shit just to appease an audience. Take a look at the history of Viagra.
That's actually quite interesting you bring that up because obviously it wasn't originally created for what it's created. It was created for a heart condition, wasn't it? But
Yeah, it
that's
was
the side
meant to
effect.
help with blood pressure and with a side effect of a 38-hour erection. Now it's marketed as a pill for erectile dysfunction to help with blood pressure. And yes, of course, I need it when the ladies keep lining up.
Well, do you know the old nurse's tale? That's why they give half a Viagra to the old men at night, so they don't roll out their bed.
So don't roll out the bed and keep them from pissing themselves.
Mm. But it's actually quite. I mean, look at Neil's story. He was talking about that in the little book of horrors. That book that he's got, with the guy with the implantation. That is what it was. It's that Viagra. And if you take too much, yeah, it can be very bad for you.
Cause it to blow off like you shoved a firecracker in it. What was with the Elvis impression on that?
Thank you very much. What do you do? I don't know if Elvis was still about and maybe a bit that kind of thing. I don't know.
Nah, for not how religious he was getting at the end of it.
He was. I mean, have you seen that Pastor Bob Royce? You kind of I'm talking about. He's his double, but I don't think he's related in any which way. I don't know.
He has been spotted hanging around Graceland an awful lot.
Has he? Maybe he's just a fan. Oh, there you go.
You never know. You never know.
Mm-hmm. I know someone that was forced to get that. That was forced, and they would have lost their job if they hadn't got it.
Well, yeah,
I think it's horrendous. I think it's horrendous making people do that. But seemingly our government now they're wanting to vote in this new crew, whatever the day, and seemingly they're going to be going after them because of all the deaths. I mean, it was a bit ridiculous. At the time, I knew somebody that was working in the emergency services, just let's say it that way. And they told me they went to a suicide and the coroner had put on the death certificate that they died to COVID. Even though they were hit by a high-speed train doing 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, there was several reports of that happening. Say, oh, someone went in just for flu-like symptoms at that time, and being that was the big thing, they got tested for COVID. Anything that was flagged at even remotely being suspected of being COVID related was put into those numbers that several hospitals were reporting.
Yeah.
Maybe it was to help get grant money. I don't know, but nevertheless, the way the situation was handled, it is several instances are coming out right now saying that it was nowhere near as bad as they tried to make it out to be.
I bet you a couple of years there's another pandemic. I bet they do it again. But this
Yeah,
time it'll be far worse than anything you've seen.
doubtful.
Oh no.
Doubtful.
The way they're shutting the system down, the way everything's, unless your government changes, that's what I'm going to say. Is because
Doubtful.
everybody follows America and stuff like that. But you don't think they'll do it again? Do you not think they'll do it again?
Doubtful.
Because you heard Bill Gates going on about it. He was going to say, no, the next one will be far, far worse.
There's several patterns throughout history that indicates that can be used to predict when major disasters are about to happen. Like the whole how every 100 years there's a major pandemic, just like that. There's also generational cycles. Right now, we're seeing so much happen because of how the coronavirus pandemic was handled, that even the people that would support it, the people still walking around in masks, realize something was not right.
I mean,
We would not be able to support the world if they were to try that again. One, two,
because folk,
people aren't going to fall for it.
I mean, I did see some ridiculous things when it first came out. I seen a guy with an air filter on his face.
Yeah,
He actually duct taped an air filter on his face. And I was like, what in God's name am I witnessing here? The idiocy of the planet. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Did you see the guy with the one where he taking the big water bottle, you know, those storage water bottles you got? The ones with the wee cups. And he'd cut a hole in it and put it on top of his head.
Clever.
You still got to
Give him
breathe
that.
air in.
Clever.
You
Give
know?
him that.
Yeah, it's clever until you run out of oxygen. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, though. There's so much about this, and it's even come out that Anthony Fauci's admitted that he knew the masks weren't going to do shit.
I know. It's only really the medical grade masks. I mean the ones that strap right out of your face. I don't mean the ones that you see doctors and nurses on all the time. It's the medical, is it H1511? You kind of medical grade masks I'm talking about. Even them struggle to filter microbes and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was quite funny because every time I went into like supermarkets and that, the guy would stop you. The security guard would stop you. It says you can't come in unless you've got a mask on. But I found a way around about it. Kind of how you get the neck warmers, the kind of right thin ones, the ones that uses like a skull on it. I did an MS with that and popped it up. And he says, "All right, when you go, and you go." As soon as you walked in, they just popped it back down again.
Oh yeah, I used to do that when I had to wear masks in order to get into work, and being that it was a small grocery store and not a lot of us were in there when it was overnight, none of us actually wore it until customers started coming in. But I would use like little neck gaiters, and a bunch of old soldiers would see me working like that, and he's like, "You're a smart man." It's like, yeah.
I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to say this. There was a weird virus going about, right? And it did have, it was COVID, right? That did exist, right? Because I had it, I felt terrible. I thought it was going to die, right? I honestly, I honestly did think it was going to die, right? I know you're playing your harp there, getting a new presenter. But anyway, I honestly thought I was going to die. But I had it again after it, a couple of months after it. I had it again, but it wasn't as bad. Get what I mean? And I do kind of look at folk that have had it. I kind of look at people that have had it and they've died, but they didn't actually die for the disease. They actually died for what the hospital gave them.
Yep.
And it's actually known as a tranquilizer kind of thing, but I don't know what it's called. Maybe it's her name in the chat. Louise can help. She's kind of medical. They actually give it to you in the hospital, and it's like a painkiller, but it makes you have even more breathing problems. I can't mind what it's called. But... Oh, there's Son of the Naked Bigfoot. What the fuck is up, my darlings? Just checking in with home. Decided to pop in and say hey. Good to see you, my friends. Stay safe in there, Mount Hood. Where's that again? Where's Mount Hood?
Hood. That's near Washington.
As in Washington.
Yeah, Hood River. It's out of Oregon.
So I know where loads of people have disappeared. National parks.
Everywhere that has national parks, people have disappeared.
I'm sure there's meant to be a place near Mount Hood. There's like an old story, a logging town or something that people disappeared or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
You can tell us after Pete.
Trust me, if you actually go to Oregon, you could see why it's so easy to get lost there.
What's wrong with Oregon? Like, what's wrong with Oregon? I'm an outsider here.
It's a pretty tense territory. If you fuck around, you're going to get yourself injured. Just chronic stupidity will get you killed over here.
Talking about people getting killed, you want to share that link out to the poor police officer that was killed? That was horrendous. I donated to it, guys. It'd be really nice if you guys could donate to it. Dakota, do you want to explain it better than me?
Well, I was going to try to explain yesterday, but you shut up some days, man. God,
I know. When you go,
I'm just filling the gap so I can actually get in and we'll grab the link. Don't have it saved on me. So on April 20th, there was a police district not too far from me, Ada County, who actually lost an officer in the line of duty. He was just pulling over a traffic stop. Guy had like a $30,000 warrant and just shot him. Deputy Bolton, this is the first officer that this police district has ever had lost in the line of duty. He was only 27 years old. And to make matters worse, his wife is expecting.
Oh, that's terrible.
Aye.
World we live in's a shithole, man. Terrible.
So there's a GoFundMe that's going out in the chat right now. If you can donate a few bucks, try to help out the family, that would be appreciated. There's memorials all over for this guy, man.
It's terrible. I mean, I clicked on it, I donated something, and he's only young. He's really young.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife's left with a kid that's not came yet, obviously. Can you imagine what that's got to be like? She's going to have to explain to that kid that her dad or his dad died.
Yeah. Well, the guy who did it, he's gone. They got him. It was a suicide by cop.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, there was no other way he was getting out of that.
Yeah, it's terrible. The world we live in is totally messed up, you know. It totally is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in the United States, everybody's nearly got a gun and stuff like that. And that's the problem. See, that obviously the UK is different, right? The UK, the police who are here are no armed, except you get armed response police. And the only problem, and you know what this country's bad for? Knife crime.
Yeah.
Knife crime. But except in the United States, it's obviously different. I actually watched a program about it, and the cop was saying that you could actually buy an illegal gun in the US for under $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, if you know how to override the security protocols for them, 3D printers, you can actually 3D print fully functioning guns.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of the models, they have basically security protocols to try to prevent it, but people have obviously figured out how to get around it.
Yeah. I've seen YouTube videos.
Untraceable.
I've seen YouTube videos on the 3D printing guns, and I thought to myself, wow. But then the guy doing it says you can only use it a few times because it's plastic.
Yeah.
And he says the first time it fired, the second time it fired, and the third time it jammed. When it jams, you throw it away because you risk putting another in chamber. It explodes
You risk
in your
blowing your
face.
you
Yeah.
risk blowing your fingers off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, I will say this: the 3D printers are absolutely fantastic. What they can do.
Do you see that there's
I mean,
one that uses chocolate?
yes, there's a
It's like
there's a there's a one that uses meat tea. Did you know that?
I
There's one that you can do it with meat tea. There's chocolate. I like all the kind of weird musical instruments it can make and stuff like that. Flute that I've got, that's all 3D printed, and it's
oh
amazing how it's made.
my Aztec
What's
death
that?
whistle was 3D printed.
Hi, that's right. I seen them too. I seen the
Mm-hmm.
Aztec man's whistles. Aye, and it's amazing how 3D printers houses.
Mm-hmm.
They started using them over here, and it actually prints a house. It's like
Yeah.
concrete. It puts it down, and then it comes back out again all the way up.
Oh yeah. It's for how fast those 3D printers can build entire houses, it's impressive.
Well, this actually is a great segue to take us to the moon, actually, because I see they're wanting to build a moon base on the moon, and they're wanting to use like 3D printers in space to build it,
Well,
like
yeah,
the habitats.
it would be easier just to ship the necessary materials for the 3D printers, maybe some tools here and there to help fix them in the event of any breakage,
Well, I
but it
watched it
would
the
just
night.
be easier.
Well, I actually watched it the night. It's really interesting. They're going to ship all the components up there, right, along with robots,
Yeah.
droids. Basically, the droids will do all the work. They don't need to sleep or eat. Either need to recharge now and again, and they'll do the thing. But what in God's name is that they people thinking that are wanting to put a train on the moon? What would be the point of putting a train on the moon? I can see the point. Maybe shut my boobs. It's those are. Did you see that? Did you see how they're wanting to put a train on the moon?
Mm, I saw that. And here's a little link to read up on that if y'all are interested.
It's bloody interesting. It's I was like, "Ah, it's got to cost billions, and I mean billions."
Anybody who's just has a decent enough telescope can just look at the moon and see that something's already moving up there.
Oh, I heard that. I ken
Fuck,
somebody. I've got a friend. I've got a
fuck if you
friend.
have decent pair of eyeballs and watch the moon carefully on a clear enough night, you can see something is flying around up there.
I wasn't going to say nothing, but somebody keeps sending me videos of things that they keep capturing, and it's
Oh, did Lewis get
bad.
to get a new camera?
No, it's no Lewis, no, it's somebody else I ken, but I ken that Lewis he does it too. But um, it's actually quite scary. Actually, what's moving about?
Oh yeah, because if you take into consideration the size of the moon and how big some of those things coming off of it are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's some craters that are what 100 miles across, but then there's some craters that's only like a mile across. But you'll see this thing landing in the craters and then taking off again. And folk will be like, "Oh, that's the size of a car," and I'll look at them and I'll be like, "No, that crater there's probably about 2 miles across."
Mm-hmm.
What's going on up there then? What is going on? Is that the Galactic Federation? Are they building bases up there or something like that? What they up
They're
to?
involved. They're involved. Yes.
So why are they what they up to then? Are they getting something ready to bring to the surface? I'm just going to blow my nose.
Pretty much. Pretty much. They're getting word is that they're getting the med beds upgraded and proper to where they can come down. There's all sorts of operations that go on up there. And you also got to take into consideration this is sort of the foundation. This is the gamer in me talking, but this is the foundation for getting shit like Doom. How Doom got started. You pay attention to the story in the games,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not really a lot of restrictions of what they can do when they're up there.
China, turning into Donald Trump here. China are building in the dark side of the moon.
Yep,
Why?
they are.
What they up to?
They're wanting to compete with the Artemis Accords that the U.S. is leading.
Right, I'm going to say this to now, right? Obviously, the dark side of the moon is going to be really, really handy if you want to hide things, right? Because obviously, it's the dark side of the moon, right? But why not just build it in the side of the moon? Again, that could be viewed. It's obviously for secrecy and stuff like that. But surely to God, the Chinese must know that these other things are up there.
They know.
But did they just avoid each other?
No. It's sort of a neutral ground.
So let me get this straight. So you could have like a Chinese moon buggy with 4 astronauts in it driving across the surface, but at the same time, you could have a spaceship with extraterrestrials in it standing and looking at them.
Yeah. That's what happened during the moon landings.
That's right. That's right. Remember, some of the astronauts says they could see something watching them.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the various countries up there, and you kind of wonder what they are up to. What's the resources on the moon? Is there any resources on the moon?
I do believe there is some radioactive deposits. There is some metals up there, obviously. That would be from crashed meteors, because part of the moon's function, or at least how it got so many craters, is to help deflect some of the meteors that would have probably caused some serious issues for the planet. But there's quite a bit that goes on that people don't realize. And it's slowly starting to come forward. You want to talk about what's actually going to happen in the next few years? I don't think it's going to be a bad. I fully believe that we're going to see another space race.
Yes, I heard that.
Oh, we're going. It's everybody's already lining up at the starting line.
Well, they're actually up here in Scotland. They're going to be building a spaceport. Did you hear about that?
Aye.
But if you really think about it, you would be better building a spaceport on the moon. If you really think about it, because when you go to take off, you don't need as much fuel. You know what I mean? There's no drag. There's no. You know what I mean? It would be the best idea.
Considering the propulsion systems for the craft that are being utilized, that don't mean shit.
Oh, obviously, the extraterrestrials out there that are highly advanced that can travel faster than the speed of light.
No, I'm not talking ETs, man. I'm talking what our military has readily available in use right now.
So applaud then all these Elon Musk space rockets and all that's just a load of bullshit then.
That's just the public side of what's being seen. Because it's a private company. The private companies don't necessarily have to follow secrecy. They follow their own rules. That's why governments of the world contract out. Because the information that gets collected through these contracts can't be collected and released to the public through Freedom of Information Acts, because it runs into their own company's non-disclosure agreements.
What's that in the chat? Sorry, just joined you. You don't honestly believe they landed on the moon, do you? I do believe they went to the moon. They went to the moon. There's evidence there that they went to the moon. You need to be a complete idiot not to believe it. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this to you now. Evidence in the moon is on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
The top telescopes in the world, you can see the lander on the moon, right? Maybe they actually taken it there and left it there. I don't know. And then there are going to be people out there that's going to say, but who took the photos when it landed? When it landed, a lot of people don't know this, but a wee camera popped out the bottom on a long arm. And that's how they got Neil Armstrong, 1 foot for mankind. That's how they did it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realise this. Yes, we did go to the moon. But why did we the question people should be asking is, why did we not go back? Well, maybe we did go back, but obviously it's secret.
Well, let's face it. What is the number one excuse you actually hear when it comes to why we didn't go back to the moon? We lost the technology somehow.
I love that one.
I'm sorry.
I love that one.
I'm sorry.
We lose the technology?
The average person, even with a 10, almost maybe even a 20-year-old cell phone, has more processing power in their pockets than
Yeah.
what it took to send people to the moon.
Right. I'm going to say this. There was a reason we stopped going to the moon. I don't think we stopped going to the moon, to be purely honest with you. I think we continued to go to the moon, but obviously through a different way, a different type of
Well,
flying aircraft way.
well, a lot like how Dan Willis said when he came on the show. It's not that we didn't go back, it's that we realized someone beat us there.
Yeah, they've been there for a long time. There's evidence that there's extraterrestrials been on that moon for billions of years,
No,
millions of
I'm not
years.
just talking. I'm not talking just ETs. I'm talking somebody else who was not on our side already beat us to the moon.
Yeah, Russia.
Nazis, Russia.
Yep, Nazis, Russians, the Chinese. Look at the Indians landed a rover there the other day. Well, no, the other day, but what was it, last year? It cost them, was it 700 and something million? And before anybody starts, the picture that you see on the video, right? And this is for all the stupid people out there. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to say this for you. The kid on cartoon thing that you see landing is no actual footage. It's an illustration, right? That they put up with the rover. Can't everybody on TikTok thought that was real?
Yeah,
That's how mad this world is.
I know.
Apollo 18, 19, and 20 went in secret. Of course they did, because they went to look at what was up there.
Mm-hmm. I know. And going back to the whole, people thought that these computer generated images were the legit thing. First off, you got to take into consideration all you got to do to realize what's available as far as how things can be faked nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that Sora AI that's getting ready to
Mm-hmm.
come out, and look at the latest model of Unreal Engine. Yes, it's a video game making engine, but if you look at how well the graphics are for that,
Aye.
unless you have unless whoever made the video puts in something that's obviously a legitimate cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
the photorealism of those programs is getting so impressive.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. It's amazing technology now.
It
But can you
is.
imagine what the governments get stashed away? Oh my god. They're probably 100 years, 200 years more advanced than what we've got. See, this is
Well,
what people don't realise. There's all these wars that's happening now, and they're all using like frigates and tanks and rockets and all that kind of stuff. But you don't realise what the US governments get stashed away. That's why Russia doesn't press the button, because they're no idiots. They know that they've got stuff stashed away. But then again, Russia's got stuff stashed away, I know. We're no stupid here. So is China. But I definitely think we're in a secret alliance with China, Russia, the UK, America, all together, working together while all these other mad, stupid things happen on the planet. And that's just to dull down us humans, to dull us down, thinking, ooh, TikTok, dance, stupid dances and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. You should be doing something else with your life. You should be trying better. I mean, it's like Samuel was on that last week, saying us humans, we need to get our heads out our asses basically before we end up fucking this planet over. We need
exactly. Exactly. I mean, you see it all the time in just about any large enough community of people, how quickly we turn on one another
Of course we
for
do.
the most stupidest of reasons.
Oh yeah.
When in reality, if we actually sat back, stop trying to act like any of us are bigger and better or holier than thou, you may be surprised at what could actually be accomplished.
Aye, but they'll know. It's like folk will know that. It's like the younger generation now, and I'm sorry. The younger generation now, can you imagine them going to war to fight for freedom and liberation like my grandfather went to fight the Germans and the Japanese? Can you imagine this generation actually going to war? Can you imagine it? And
Well, let's
it would be
go
horrendous.
let's go to another controversial issue when it comes to like the
Hey,
trans
knowledge.
community, especially with the number of rather violent incidents have been reported lately involving a trans
Mhm.
person as the main
Oh God, I
suspect.
know.
Think about this. anytime there is hormone replacement therapy for whatever reason it may be,
Mm-hmm.
whether they had a tragic accident and they're getting put on hormone supplements to try to basically cover what they lost, they're transitioning. If that's your choice, I'm not.
If you
If
identify as a pumpkin,
if that's what you want to do, that's your choice. I'm not
mm-hmm.
climbing on that. What I am wanting to point out is the fact that very few people seem to realize that there is psychological evaluations
Yeah.
when these types of drugs are being implemented,
Mm-hmm.
because the rapid changes in hormones can actually result in violent and psychotic behavior.
Yeah.
Do we really want these people having guns when we don't know what? I'm very well aware of at least 5 different incidents where people who were in the middle of transitioning had violent outbursts, killed off their family.
Yep. Look, the world's went mad. It truly has went mad. I've got nothing against them that wants to identify as a pumpkin or a turnip or whatever they want to identify as. I've got nothing against them, but it's getting a bit ridiculous now. It is getting a bit ridiculous. Considering some of the stuff they come out with. It really
Exactly.
is. What I don't agree with is like how they can take children that are not even of age and decide that they're getting hormonal replacement. That's
What
wrong
was
because they can't even decide for what they want in life.
exactly the parents are essentially forcing their children into genital mutilation because
Yeah.
they feel because a boy maybe wanted to try on a dress at one point. It's a kid. They don't see those lines that their parents have instilled in them. They don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
If they decide to make that choice when they're older, that's fine. That's okay. I don't give a shit if that's what they decide to do. But nevertheless, if you're going to do something like that with drugs that have been experimented on and put out by the Nazi regime in order to sedate
Right.
and experiment on
Mm.
completely innocent individuals that, let's face it, we may not actually be able to ever have accurate counts of how many people lost their lives for what they did. Be smart about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Those drugs were brought out by the Nazis. Bayer, one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies, used to experiment on women.
Yeah.
They would practically order shipments of at least 150 women at a time to experiment
Right.
drugs on, and that's how they managed to build up their knowledge.
Look, if we're talking about the drugs industry, the drugs companies, man, come on. There's drug industries out there where they've got certain cancer curing drugs, right? Pills, right? Tablets for Americans. And the drug companies, it costs them 5 cents to make one pill, right? But then they charge $500 for that one pill. What's the point?
Because they know the cancer patient and their families are going to be desperate
Well,
enough to
gonna
try
pay
to
it.
save their loved ones to
Yeah.
pay anything.
Yeah.
It's like that one guy who upped the price for insulin shots
Mm-hmm. I heard about
to
that.
over the roof. People, and let's face it, yes, there are situations where, now granted, I hate taking drugs, but there's people out there who legitimately need these things in order to save their lives,
Mm-hmm.
in order to get better from whatever's ailing them. Yes, it
Yeah.
does happen, but nevertheless, they say there's a drug out there that can cure most forms of cancer that costs less than a chocolate bar.
Yep, but they'll not get it because they're making too much money on all the poor people that are dying.
It's more profitable to treat an illness rather than to cure it. And let's face it, there's
Yeah.
entire industry communities that are founded for the simple fact to make sure production companies don't make products that are too good. That literally started with a light bulb that's been on for over 100 years and still going.
I know I've seen that. That's quite impressive, that light bulb.
That
Yeah.
light bulb literally caused these entire communities of major industrial corporations to come together and find anybody who makes a product that's too good, that doesn't break.
It's like we were talking yesterday. It's like how we were talking yesterday about the disposable cars. The new electric cars by 2025 onwards will be disposable cars. So they're designed to break. So it was quite interesting. I was having a conversation with a guy that works for a certain car manufacturer, and he was telling us that even if you were to take one of the cars and put it in a box and seal it away, right? After 6 years, that car will not start because the program will have deemed that car disposable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's just madness. Put it this way, right? My niece bought, she's got the new Corsa. I don't know if you know what the Corsa, what do you call it? Vauxhall, which is GM in the UK, America, right? And what's that? Cancer has been, 9 times that, 19. Right, anyway, see, a bird flew out in front of her the other day there and it cracked the, what do you call it? Her headlight. Right, most cars like mine in yours, Dakota, we can go and get a headlight at the scrapyard, no problem, for let's say $20 or something like that. But
Right.
because her car's like 2-year-old or something, it's one of these modern ones. See the light bulb in it? It's an LED. You can't change it. You cannot change the headlight. To get it done through Vauxhall, it's £1,800 for the headlight. But my brother has her father managed to get a headlight second hand. But here's the thing. See, when you unscrew the headlight, you can't take it off without breaking the panel that holds it in. So when you take that out, you have to buy the panel that goes behind it.
Lovely.
It's designed to break. It's designed so you cannot fix it. And it's the same when you open it now. There's like a plastic cover out of the more modern engines. You take that plastic cover off, but they've made it such in a way you've got to plug it into their software to find out what's wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's madness.
It is.
Really is madness.
It is. I mean,
It's
people that they say, "Oh, they wouldn't do that. Oh, wouldn't do that." Look at what Apple got in trouble with when it was discovered that they purposely
yes,
put timers on batteries
yes,
that they could tell that the battery is a certain age. The software would start kicking in to make the phone start running slower, crashing more, to make essentially force people into buying new iPhones.
yeah.
And the Apple
You,
community, dumb enough to fall for it.
yeah, I know. I was one.
Said it.
I know.
I fucking said it.
I've
All
got an
you
iPad.
assholes that make fun of me because I use a Samsung.
I
Fuck
like
you.
I like my Apple devices. I'm going to say this now. I do like my Apple devices. But let's look. Did you know in the 1970s, was it who's that car manufacturer? It was famous for making big. You ever seen Uncle Buck's car? You know the one I'm talking about. Oh, is it Cadillac? I think it's the Cadillac.
Yeah, I drive a Cadillac.
They actually said that they could make a car last 20 years. You would never need to change a part on it. You'd only need to change the exhaust and the tires and the brakes. You would never need to change like ball joints, bushes, power steering pumps, things like that. You would never need to. But they went against that because it's non-profitable. You've got to remember, these car industries don't make the money through the cars. They make the money through the parts.
Oh yeah.
And that's the sad truth here. That's how they
let's add this to the number of reasons why they want to try to get rid of TikTok. There was this video that I saw, and it was a mechanic yard, right? Some guy brought in his truck, been in an accident, had a pretty good sized dent, wanted to get the dent repaired. This mechanic was kind of old school. He just went, looked up at the dent, nodded his head, stepped back, took 2 steps back, kicked it right at the bottom of the frame. And guess what happened? The dent was fixed. Is it?
Yeah.
That'll be $2,000.
Yeah. That the car that I've got is a 2012 model, right? And it's Jesus and all that's holy. There's sensors everywhere on it, right? It's a pain in the arse. Honestly, I said this to somebody the other day there. I've got a thing about old Land Rovers. You know what I'm talking about? The old Land Rover kind of vehicles. I'm thinking about getting a tax exempt vehicle and an MOT exempt vehicle, 1970s vehicle. I need to put fuel in it and insure it because it's MOT and tax free. But I was sitting in a car the other day there, and it was the new, what was it, Vauxhall GM, by the way, Astra. Oh my god, everything was digital, man. Everything was digital. It's satellite navigation. See the screen on it, it all lights up. You don't know the rev counter anymore. It's like a spaceship. Right? It's all at lights and everything like that. And I was talking to the guy who actually owns a garage, and I says to him, I says, "How do you fix something like this?" And he says, "You have to take it to Vauxhall now because there's actually software with them that's no letting you work on them for other garages." It's mad.
Yeah.
They're nice to drive. Don't get me wrong, but they're breaking down really quick. I've noticed that a lot. They're breaking down like 2-year-old, 3-year-old. Oh, love your shows. Hey, from South Africa once again. Oh, thank you very much.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I think that's how it's pronounced.
Nothing's built. Dots cold bulletproof, Chris. I've looked everything new. I wished I can remember when cars were so easy to work on. I mean, so easy to work on, right? See now, you need a computer to reset the service thing. You need a see my car. My car hasn't got like see it when you shut the door, and you've got the wee chub that comes up and doing it locks the car. My car doesn't have that. Doesn't have that. That doesn't have until you just put your hand against it, it goes click, and it opens, and the door opens. And the sensors are always going out. I've got another. I have to replace the boot lock again on the back of my car because all I can get is right. Where is it? I'll show you this. I have to replace the boot lock in the back of my car. And it's there, right? Now I buy them for Amazon. It costs me maybe £25 each time, every couple of months. How much do you think the equivalent of that is for Vauxhall GM?
Probably a couple hundred.
400.
Damn.
Lock switch. That's why I buy it. That's why I'm getting good at changing the boot locks in the back of my motor, because it only takes me 15 minutes to just put a new one on. Lasts me 3 months. Buy another one. Lasts me 3 months. But come on. Yeah, I mean, it's
only
mad.
3 months. That seems kind of fucked up.
It's something to do with the electronic system in it, and it's a nightmare. A nightmare. You've no idea. I'm seriously considering going to something else, but it's motors now are just no worth it anymore. Aye, there's Lawrence. He still has an old car he can work on. We'll keep it. Keep it.
Ow. Yeah, I got my 95 Cadillac, and people are like, "Oh, it's a nice car." You know, I was like, "Yeah." I mean, things got oil leaks and discontinued parts all over the place, and it's still runs better than most of these newer cars I'm out and about. And yes, I do want to try and get the oil leak fixed, but the problem is the parts are all discontinued that I would need for the
That'll be
car.
fine. Just keep putting oil in it. You could put oil there. Just keep putting oil in it.
I know, I'm not too worried about it.
Look, it's like everything. We live in a throwaway society. I've got an iPhone 12, right? And that iPhone 12 will probably last me for another 5 years, right? Right. But I know people every 6 months to buy a new iPhone. And the latest one comes out. And I'm like, are you mad? Oh, but this one's got like an extra camera lens. And I'm like, are you mad? Why? Why do people do it? And it's a throwaway society. It's like doing it lithium and all that again. And
I mean, here's something I want to know. You remember some years back when there was a startup company that was trying to get going, and they were trying to take on the pollution problem from the number of people just tossing away their phones. So they made this. Well, essentially, you have like a main brick of it, and you have all the components to it, like the battery, the camera, the storage. You can connect all that like fucking Legos. And if you wanted to upgrade something, you can just unclick something, put a new one in, just like that. Can we try to bring that concept back?
It's not just that. It's like look at computers. Look how quick computers get old, right?
Oh yeah.
There was actually a car manufacturer out there that started making their cars out of hemp. See the dashboards and the seats and the
Yep.
carpets was made out of hemp. No, you can't smoke it. It's not that type of bloody hemp. No, but anyway, there was actually another company out there, and they started making laptops. And the only thing you could actually physically throw away the plastic. It's no plastic. It was made of hemp, right? And all the components could be recycled, totally recycled. But they said, "Oh no, it's not safe for people in the public." And they did that, so they weren't allowed to do it, so you had to keep buying plastic.
Yeah, no, this is like I was thinking it was like the cars in the 1940s. Hemp steel was basically the dominant material out there because it was cheap. It was damn near hard to break.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back when things were built to be able to take a beating.
Yeah. Look, with living a throwaway system, it's the same with the Xbox and all that kind of stuff, and the PS5 and all that. Because I was bringing out. I know I've not got a new Xbox yet. I've still got. I've still.
Am I here? Who the hell are you, and what have you done with Chris?
Look, it's the same with the Xbox, right? I need to get the new Xbox, right? But I just keep holding off. My Xbox console down there is 8. It's an Xbox One. It's 8 years old, right? And still does exactly everything the same. I've had to show you the new Xbox Series X. There's not that much of a difference.
Basically, just higher processing power. That's about it.
Why could they not make a console where you could? Oh, I think I'll get a new CPU for it and change the CPU, or why can I not get like a better graphics card for it? What they do with
technically, you can do that with the Xbox and PlayStations, but you avoid your warranties. That's where they get you.
But it's madness now.
It is.
Everything's throwaway society, and we're using too much. We're using too many resources: copper, gold, zinc. We're using too much yet.
Yeah.
And all these electric cars. I mean, people don't realise we got to deal with the electric batteries. We can't recycle them. They all just get dumped together. Do you know how they get rid of? Do you know how they recycle car batteries? They've got a big vat of water, and a machine comes down and pierces it, and it drops it under the water. It's a weird solution, a chemical solution, and it neutralizes salt water, I think it is, and it neutralizes the batteries, and then they go to landfill. What? I've got an egg box. Oh, for fuck's sake. You've got the egg box 5000. Come on.
God, but anyway, no. Yeah, they have. Anyway, back to the electric car batteries. They have to do that because that's the only thing that'll neutralize the acid inside the batteries and keep them from blowing up. That's why they have to do that. And like we were saying yesterday, those things go. Fire departments have a very hard time trying to put them out.
Yep.
And especially because of how hot those things get. Like you said, it is no exaggeration where parts of the road, if you have an electric car fire, will melt if it's not put out quickly enough. There's some fire departments that all they could do was isolate the fire, let it burn out on its own because they couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, they just leave it burning.
Yeah, they let it burn out on its own.
See, that I'm going to tell you something. See all this pollution shit you get with this climate change bullshit, right? Because it is bullshit. See if the entire United States, the entire United Kingdom, and Ireland had to stop tomorrow using all fossil fuels, it would not make one bit of difference, because China and all the other countries out there are burning fossil fuels. Could triple the amount that we're burning. Why hasn't there been a move on with the hydrogen? See, that's interesting you say that, because JCB are actually they're working on that hydrogen JCBs, again, dozers and stuff.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Hydrogen cars are well out there. There's instructions on how to make a simple run to the grocery store to get all the supplies you would need and actually convert your engine to be able to take on more hydrogen base, it would actually clear out your engine. It would make it run better. You get way better fuel mileage.
Yeah.
There's the
But then,
problem. It makes it too good.
Yeah. Look, in the 1980s, car manufacturers actually figured out a way of making a car engine get 250 miles to a gallon. I kid you not. And they'll be like, "Oh, you're talking about fuel?" No, it was. I think it was either a hydrogen way, but they didn't do it because oil, money,
Yeah.
and
Oil.
it's the same as Samuel says. It's money. What is money? A bit of paper that says that you can buy a can of juice. A bit of paper that says you, well, not really anymore. It's digital currency. That's all it is. There's a company on the island in Scotland. They have their vehicles run on. Aye, that's kid. I've heard about that. My gas station next to me, where my niece, near where my niece works, they actually sell the hydrogen gas for your cars. You can get and fill it up the tank. I could get my car converted for £1,400, but I would still need to pay. You see, this is the problem. The government don't care. They make it difficult. You still have to pay tax, and then when it goes for its MOT, it's got to get more stricter MOT because they say it could explode. Get what I mean?
Like, and Samuel said on quite a few interviews I've seen him with, it's the fact that our politicians, US, UK, anywhere really, they're not motivated by the interests of the people. They're all motivated by the interests of what lines their pockets.
Yes.
And the few that do manage to get through, that actually do have somewhat of an interest to try to help the people, what happens to them? They're quickly voted out of office. They have all these criminal charges brought up against them. They're indicted, or if push comes to shove, they get shot.
Right. Look, the politicians, the new again in the UK, are all corrupt. Every one of them. Everyone. It's like Samuel said, Ted, that we really need to start afresh with governments. Right? It's the same with the United States. We need to change everything and get rid of all of them and rebuild the system. Tell you what I read about to start. That's right. Hydrogen and run cars. That's right. I heard about that.
Now it's coming about but again, this kind of goes back to a point. I think we mentioned it yesterday, but I think it may have actually been after the show we did after Samuel Chung. Is that we noticed lately, within the last couple of years, several of the world elites are starting to drop under mysterious circumstances, right?
Why?
They're either the official statements are that they're sick, or there's stuff coming out about them that's been suppressed for years and years on end. It certainly stands to testify that there is something going on where the changes that have been needed to happen years and years ago are starting to break through. But the question remains, is it too little too late?
I think we've let them stay in power for too long and knew that the roots say corruption's everywhere. Maybe in the 1960s, early 70s, there was still some good leaders out there, but knew it's too late. They're all corrupt. Every one of them's corrupt. And you just need to look what's happening in the UK. You just need to look what's happening in the United States with your border and our border. You just need to look what's happening. They don't care. They do not care. Everything's money, 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 money.
Dots. Anti-gravity on the way. You can't keep it down.
Exactly. But I mean, look. I think it'll be a while before all this technology gets released. I don't think it'll happen in your lifetime. Well, my lifetime. It may happen in your lifetime, but I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime.
I don't know, man. Things are moving fast, and let's face it, the world we knew 5 years ago is gone. Let's face it.
Pre-pandemic.
And the thing is, just to kind of put things into perspective, the education systems especially here in the US, are so neglectful of the children themselves. I once told this little joke. I saw it online, thought it was funny. Said, "What is one thing that the US and Canada have in common?" And my sister goes, "What?" He said, "Well, just like the US, Canada is afraid of their neighbors to the south."
Mhm.
And she's like, "Well, who's that?" And I wish that was an isolated incident, but so many of these younger kids who are starting to get out into the world, starting to actually go into positions of power,
Mhm.
they have that same mentality where they're even more clueless than the members of
Oh, look,
Congress we
who's
have
that
now.
guy? Who's that guy on YouTube that goes to the beach? What do you call it in Los Angeles and asks the stupid questions? He's got something like 4 million subscribers or something like that. What's his name? And he asks, we're doing a thing to protect the Tyrannosaurus Rex and all that stupid questions like that. And they'll be like, oh, yes, sign me up for it. And people will be like,
Oh,
I sign me up. We need to.
think about how many people bug out of the picture from the first Jurassic Park,
Mhm.
right? Of Spielberg kneeling in front of the sick Triceratops
Yeah.
animatronic that they used in the movie, and people thought he was a big game hunter that just killed it, and went to pose
I know.
with it. The
I
number of
know.
people who thought that was a legit thing. It's like, I'm sorry, if he managed
It's
to
like that.
actually shoot and kill a Triceratops, that's a much bigger story.
Look, I'm going to say this. You see that film of the guy and the woman that get froze for an experiment and wake up like
Idiocracy.
100. Honestly, sometimes I wake up one in the morning and I turn on my phone and I go into TikTok and I think to myself, "Shut! I've just arrived." I mean, there's people there pointing their cameras into the sun saying that it's light bulbs and no, it's just your sensor dying. You'll get on between your camera stops. Well, let's face it, there is a lot of stupid folk on this planet. There's too many. There's too many now. What's that Louise's put? I think they've installed the fuel. I think there's one place in Dublin, so I was told. I ken it's a big thing here, hydrogen in Scotland. I ken a few folk that have got hydrogen converted cars.
Mm.
But honestly, I've seen some crazy stuff, man. There's some crazy things. There's the beliefs out there. How do you get it? Seriously, how can the world be so stupid? Do you think it's maybe junk? It's all this technology's done people doing?
The reliance on it. Where these days school children don't even have to try to figure out a math problem. All they have to do is they can
It's
download
calculating.
no, they don't even have to use a fucking calculator no more. All they have to do is grab out their phone, take a picture, run it through a program called Wolfram Alpha. It's
Mhm.
out there, it's available. You can use most of their stuff for free. And it'll just solve everything right there for you.
The world's had it. Unless we start making a change soon, it's had it. Somebody says to me the other day, "Oh, they're saying there's got to be an EMP." Ken something? An EMP would probably be a good thing.
they want they want genuine chaos to unfold. That would be the way to do it.
What'd be
Kill
worse, a
all
zombie apocalypse or the fact that the internet doesn't work anymore?
the fact the internet not working anymore would bring out the zombies. What are you talking about?
We're messed up, man. We're messed up. So this week, have you got any shows this week, man?
No, not yet. The new classes for Network Academy are going to be available. The next episode of Frantic Files for season 2, it will be up next week as well. But I do have a couple things to announce as well.
Mm.
Soon, as many people know, Bald and Bonkers, we have many different projects out there. We have movie distribution, music, and we also have books. Well, soon you may just start seeing little job postings for those of you interested in maybe earning a little extra money through voice acting work.
Mm.
We're going to some of our books are actually going to start being put up to be produced as audiobooks.
Yeah, that'd be quite good. I like audiobooks.
Now, so you want a chance to earn a little extra money? Keep an eye on all of our social medias to be on the lookout for that. And the Bald and Bonkers official band Starlight Amnesia is getting ready to put out their very first album.
Mm.
It's going to be called the Demo Run, and it's basically going to be a sample of all the different projects that we've been working on together. Last I looked just before I came on for the show and found out we were getting screwed over by technology once again.
Yeah.
We have almost 100 songs in the queue ready to go.
That's quite good. That is
Oh yeah.
good.
Oh
That's
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You'll definitely want to hear some of that because got a pretty nice variety going on it as well. So I'm happy with how it's turning out.
I must admit, Bald and Bonkers has came a long way since we started off.
I know.
I mean, I think it'll just take time. It'll just take time to build up. What's it?
Hey,
What's that?
that I think that's my sister preparing her daughter's dinner.
Oh, she using a Hoover.
She's using a blender.
God's sake.
Because let's just say, my little niece, she will start screaming at you if you do not feed her quick enough.
There you go.
At least
Actually, I thought it was communications coming through or something like that. I can hear you, Mike. Come through.
Hey, no, I think Mike's going to be looking out after his boy.
What a Pete, be safe. Don't be getting carried off into the woods by a mad cannibal people or something like that.
No. Unfortunately, like I always said, ghosts, aliens, monsters, demons, angels, that I get. Humans are the ones that scare the fuck out of me.
Why? You just need to go into TikTok. I seen a good one the other day. The guy was on his phone. I was sitting in the car, and there was a busy main road. The guy was on his phone, and he walked right out in front of all the traffic. Never looked up once. Just kept going.
I believe that's why Hawaii now has their traffic signals for crosswalks into the ground because of all the cell phone zombies.
Yep.
Just to try to avoid them getting hit. And for God's sakes, people, I'm just going to say this because the number of crashes I've personally seen within the last couple of weeks, be careful on the fucking roads. Thankfully, nobody got hurt with the crashes I saw, but a DUI within 100 yards of a school is not a good thing.
Yeah.
And kids, I know you're getting excited. You know, you just had your prom. You're getting ready for summer vacation. For God's sakes, chill out. You're about to have a reality slap in the face.
I don't know. I'm like Victor Meldrew of the road when I'm driving. I seen a cracker the other day, an absolute cracker. I was driving along. You came to the roads I like here in Scotland, wee windy roads, right? And I know it's a bad bit for being a blind corner, so I slowed down and I came up to the top of the hill and I started to go down. And at the very bottom of the hill, there was a brand new Mercedes, a white Mercedes, sitting, but taking up the entire road, and the woman was sitting texting. And I stopped and I sat and waited. And then I went, bee, I just jumped up like that. And she's like, oh, I was just sending a message to somebody. And I said, you're blocking the entire main road. But see, if I hadn't went down there slow, I would have crashed right in there. She had no seatbelt on. She was on her phone.
Yeah.
I dare say.
Let's just say, ladies and gentlemen, might be a good idea for some of these kids going out on the road to start investing in some dash cams.
Yeah, I've got a dash cam. I've got it. It's a cracker or two. I've got to put it on Facebook.
I need to put mine on.
I've got a front dash cam and a back dash cam.
I almost got sideswiped by street racers just trying to get to work, man.
I've had them when I've been driving at night. And I was driving and there was a set of traffic lights that went green. I thought, all right, it's me to go. So I went and I thought, what the hell's that coming towards me? I could see something getting closer and closer and closer. Car had jumped to hit the traffic lights, and he didn't have his lights on.
Yeah. Plenty of idiots around here that don't like to have their lights on when we're in thick ass fog. Though there's one car I would love to see. Is one of the drag racers. Apparently, he went to speed away from a police officer, and he managed to catch some air over a busy highway. He managed to clear a 5-lane highway.
That's handy.
And I was just like, I want to see this car. It was a chase at night. It flew over the highway, landed safely, didn't crash. And clearly he had done this before because he had blackout switches set up to where he couldn't be found.
Don't worry. Soon you're going to have to drive an electric car everywhere you go. And
I'm not looking forward to that. God, you ever seen the movie Incredibles at the beginning? Mr. Incredible in the car. I look like fucking Mr. Incredible in one of those damn things, man. Yeah, I'm so goddamn cramped. Ugh.
I'm going to say this, right? Electric cars are brilliant, but the batteries are rubbish in them, right? The acceleration of them is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. You can the cars in the UK actually have to have programmed sounds in them because they're too quiet.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. You can actually program, if you buy the new BMW, you can actually change the sound of the engine. The petrol engine, diesel engine. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of newer model Teslas do that too.
Yeah. So there you go. The Dukesy Hazzard. We should get Dukesy Hazzard and do that jump. Get the one that they take the river.
Yeah, those motherfuckers pulled off a Dukes of Hazzard. I was like, I just want to see the car.
Right? Can you imagine me and you doing the Dukesy Hazzard jump? Jesus Christ, we need a 5 mile
God,
head
I was about to say, just the weight between us both, we would need some serious pull.
Oh God.
God, we better sign off before we go totally off the rails.
Goodbye, everyone. Carrion tomorrow and Go Squad Scotland. See you all. Bye-bye.
Much love. Take care. Stay weird.